Christian Miller.
It's time for the Miller's Edge with 4-time SEC champion and 2-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian Miller taking him down.
Here's college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome into this Wednesday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 12:30, WTBC New Year's Eve edition. I guess Alabama Rose Bowl Eve edition of the Miller's Edge. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are ready, man. I'll say this, Chase. I'm just ready for this game at this point. I feel like we've been talking about it for quite some time. Had some time last week before the break. Plus, just talking about it, outside of radio. Then last night, hopped on a podcast with the guys over the Bama Standard and talked about it some more. Pastor Payne made a surprise appearance on there, and we chopped it up. So I feel like we've been talking about this game. I'm just ready for it, man. I'm ready for it. I know the coaches are talking about it right now. We just were talking about that with each other. And there's a press conference going on. Maybe we'll pull some clips, but I was listening to it. I'll just be completely honest with you. The press conference was little bland. You could just tell. I was telling Chase, man, definitely just feels that these coaches are ready to get out there and lead their teams on that football field and play some football, right? Signetti definitely, he's not going to say a whole bunch regardless. That's kind of who he is, but you can just tell. I mean, they've had cameras in their faces nonstop over the last week and a half. But there was a couple of things we could probably pull from. There's one good question about what Coach DeBoer's learned about his team over the season. I thought that was a good one. But some of the other things, it's a long press conference. I don't want to waste too much time on it. But we might get a little bit of that. There was media day with the players, plenty of interviews. Now, we talked a little bit about some of the news, or I guess some of the clips that had come out from media day with the players being interviewed yesterday after the show. We stood around. We hung out on the stream a little bit after we got off of radio and played some of that audio. But we'll definitely be playing that because there's been a lot of things coming out. This is kind of like where it's like free reign for the media, right, Chase? I mean, everybody on the team is available to the media, which is typical for bowl games. I just saw a memory from my first bowl game ever back in 2014 when we played Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl, and ESPN was going around because the way it works is you got like the starters, they're set up, they've got like the name card, like tables and stuff like that. Then the rest of the guys are kind of just hanging around, but they also are available to the media. Long story short, I just saw a clip back from my freshman year where ESPN was going around, and of course, us freshmen, we didn't have our own tables. Unless you're Cam Robinson, you were starting left tackle. We were, kind of just hanging out, chilling. Well, they found Rashaan Evans, and they were asking a bunch of people our favorite moments, right? Or I guess our favorite thing about the Sugar Bowl at that time. And, well, I don't know if you guys ever saw this clip, but he basically just flat out said, yeah, I've really enjoyed Bourbon Street. That was his answer. And she was the young lady interviewing him was in disbelief, like, are you really going to say that? Coach Saban is probably going to see this. He gets ESPN on his TV, and he doubled down on it. So that always comes to mind when you think about this. But long story short, that's what was going on yesterday. So, of course, media members, man, they had free reign on all these guys that they don't typically get to talk to. So we heard from the likes of, Keelan Russell, Austin Mack, hell, even the kicker, right? And they got to ask him a number of questions. So there's a lot of stuff to catch up on. So we'll go back and we'll do that. We'll continue breaking down this game. It's Prediction Wednesday. Typically, we do it on a Friday since we play on Saturdays. But since we play on Thursday, which is tomorrow, New Year's Day, we're doing that today. So you guys can call in. We'll get your predictions, get your thoughts on this matchup. The final one right before the game, which is tomorrow, 3 p.m. kick. So make sure you guys are ready for that. If you guys want to listen, I do some pregame stuff before the game with the Crimson Tide Sports Network, so make sure you guys tune into that. Then after the game, we'll have the postgame show where I offer my analysis alongside Gray Robertson, who's my partner on the LLH Healthcare postgame party show on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, who will be joining us at the top of the hour. So you'll get an early sneak peek of me and Gray. At the top of the hour, we'll be discussing our thoughts on this matchup, plus some other ones, Chase, because the next round of the playoffs actually get started tonight. You got Miami taking on Ohio State. We'll probably dive into that just a little bit. I'm excited for that matchup. I think it'll be a good game to watch, and we'll definitely talk about it. But that's what we got on tap. Plenty of media to talk about and listen to. Plenty to talk about this game. I think we need to put a bow on some of the tape that we've been watching. So all that coming up, plus Gray Robertson at the top of the hour. And I'm not sure about Slade. I know he mentioned he should be good for today, but hadn't heard from him. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. But that is what we've got planned for you. 205-342-9904 is the number to the program. Make sure you guys call us. I know sometimes we get backed up. I promise. Hey, listen, if you call before 12, I can guarantee we'll get you on here because we're free until then. So if you want to get on the phone lines, do it now. It's probably best. But also, don't forget, if you're dealing with any type of pain, foot pain, knee pain, back pain, hip pain, you name it, you guys know where to go. The Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Try before you buy. Nothing to lose, right? You can go on in there. Walk-ins are welcome. They got foot massage, all that stuff. They show you impressions of your arch, show you how you'll benefit from these arch supports that are designed to eliminate and alleviate all types of pain in just 4 short weeks. These things are game changers. They work phenomenally. Let them work for you. You can always go to their website as well, goodfeet.com, where you can schedule an appointment, find the nearest location. You can see it on the stream right there and get plenty more information. But they are nationwide. That's the luxury of them. They're nationwide. You can find them all over the place. We got listeners from all over. So don't worry. There's a Good Feet store near you, I promise. Just look it up on their website. That is the Good Feet store. Improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. We got to hit a timeout when we come back. We'll stay on schedule. We'll dive into this. We'll keep talking about this Rose Bowl again. Gray Robertson at the top of the hour. We'll get y'all's thoughts and more right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet store. America's arch support experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. What's up, guys? Who we got in here? Jake, what's up? Happy New Year's, or New Year's Eve, I should say. Kenji, what's going on? Kel, is I see the V at the end. Is it pronounced just Kel or is it Kel V? Which one? I guess 1 for Kel, 2, type 2 for Kelby. I just want to make sure I get it right. Mike, what's up? Happy New Year's, man. Why you do that though? Story about the hat. Long story short, man, it says Dale Tide, which basically translates to like roll tide, let's go tide in Spanish. Um, I'm not gonna. I know I always get long-winded when I answer this. I've been learning Spanish for 2 years, man. I'm really passionate about language learning, and I've been learning Spanish for 2 years and wanted to kind of merge the two, man. Alabama football, Kel. All right, cool. Yeah, basically wanted to learn all the Spanish stuff that I've been doing with Alabama football, and I was like, man, that'd be dope. We'll just do I'll get a hat custom made, Dolly Tide. I mean, because I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, you see, like sometimes there's some like I guess some merch that's made. Like I've seen like a Braves hat that's got like a I forgot what it had, but it was like you know what I mean. Like sometimes it might have like a Spanish crossover, like a Japanese crossover. I hadn't really seen anything like, of that with Alabama, so I was like, shoot, I'll make one myself. So yeah, bro, it just basically says roll tide in Spanish. That's the short answer. Um, let's see, where should we start, guys? Because there's I mean, from the media day, there's a lot. I mean, we got the quarterbacks, Keelan and Austin Mack. I say we start there because we talked about it at the end of the show. We'll pick it back up. Not the end of the show. On the stream after the show ended. I say we start there. Then we keep on rolling. Oh God, you guys know who just popped up on YouTube? That guy that's been predicting like all the coaching changes or whatever. I was saying that Kalen DeBoer was going to Penn State, then Michigan. He just popped up on my YouTube feed. I guess he's breaking down this game. I think we'll probably stay away from that though. Oh, that's a good video right there too. And we got a lot of stuff we'll play. Let's start with these quarterbacks. So let me get that potted up. We'll get that going. Anybody got any big New Year's plans? I know sure as hell I don't. I'm gonna be chilling. Maybe go see some fireworks or something. Meeting is pretty much telling Alabama they shouldn't have bothered flying to LA. Yeah, man, there's a lot of that. But I'll be honest, I feel like I've seen some people kind of turning it around a little bit. Not many, but I feel like I've seen a couple. Was it Chris Doring or whatever his name is? Pate picked us. Did he? He's turning around. Curious if we'll have D. Ryan Williams back. Man, only time will tell. I don't know if it'll be this game, but he's due for something, though. He's due for something. Pay and Feinbaum? Huh. I don't know if that's a good thing or Pate's been a little off with some of these predictions, brother. That's my guy, but I'm at least like with us. And welcome back into this New Year's Eve edition of the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. All right, Chase, there's literally so many angles, so many ways we can go with this. And hell, we're just going to pick one. So I want to talk a little bit or play some of these quick little snippets from Media Day, which yesterday. And it was for both teams, right? So basically the floor is open. Media has free reign. I mean, they can go around and ask anybody questions. So, of course, they're going to take advantage of that opportunity. And I mean, can't blame them, right? I mean, they don't get to speak to half of these guys, even though we have a lot of a lot more media availability now in the last couple of years. But still, there's a number of guys that haven't been able to be addressed. And we know not only is it college football playoff time, but what else is around the corner, Chase? The transfer portal. So there's a lot of questions that are being thrown around. So, of course, they took it upon themselves to, maybe just kind of just prod a little bit, just see kind of what and I won't even prod it. I think some people are straight up asking, are you going to be here next year? And so there's some answers that we've heard of. So let's start there. I know we played it on the stream after we got off radio, but we were off air at that point. And I just want to bring it up because I feel like we've had this conversation, like how does the quarterback room look after this year? I mean, does Ty Simpson come back? Does he go to the draft? Do you lean towards Keelan Russell? Austin Mack looked pretty damn good with his development last time we saw him against Eastern Illinois. It's kind of been, all over the place, not knowing how this whole thing looks. Hell, even people are turning their attention to the new shiny toy that we have, Tamala, the quarterback early enrollee, right, who set a bunch of records in his state of high school football, and he just got on campus. And from the eye test, he looks to be, a very, I guess, I hate saying that, very promising just by the eye test, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, the guy's all of 6'4", 220. A lot of people excited about him. But anyway, that said, let's start here because I thought this was interesting. And the reason it's interesting is you got two very different answers here. Could mean something, could mean nothing at all. I'll give you my thoughts once we hear about it. But let's start here. So Hunter DeCiver, I think it looks like he covers with Bama Central, right? He asked both of the quarterbacks, the backup quarterbacks, Austin Mack and Keelan Russell, their plans for next season. Excuse me. These were their answers. We'll start with Austin Mack first. Hold on, let me pod this up, and this is what he said.
I mean, right now I'm focused on this moment. I mean, we're in the Rose Bowl. I got to be ready. I got to be ready to play on Thursday. So just knowing that I'm one play away and being ready for my guys.
Not a bad answer. Don't get me wrong. Not a bad answer at all. Listen, I mean, folks on the Rose Bowl, he is QB2 technically. I know both those guys are probably trusted, but I'm sure that he would be the next guy in if something were to happen. Knock on wood. I got my wooden desk. Don't worry. So listen, not a bad answer. We understand. I mean, be where your feet are. They're focused on this game. Hell, I'll be honest with you. Even if I had every intention of coming back, I probably would give a similar answer knowing like that's the right answer, so to speak, right? We're about the team. We're about where we're at now, and it's all about winning the next game because it's win or go home. So trust me, I get that part. However, it does differ, pretty significantly from the other answer, which again, you go, this guy's a little bit older, so maybe he's taking the more, probably politically correct answer approach. Again, that's why I said it could mean something, could be nothing. Before I add my thoughts, and there's Wyatt creeping up back in the Wyatt just pops up in the back of all the. Did you notice this, Chase? He was in a video yesterday. He's on this one. I think I just saw him on another video that I just scrolled by. Man, Wyatt's just like he's photobombing all these videos. He's got a new haircut, and I think he's trying to show it off. Let's go ahead and hear from Keelan Russell. Hear what he had to say. Again, two different answers. Here we go.
I'm staying here for sure. I'm road tied all the way.
And it literally was that quick. I mean, like 2 seconds, yes, I'm staying here. I'm roll tide all the way. And for our folks that are tuned into our stream over on YouTube, again, check us out completely free at the Miller's Edge. Come hang out with us. I mean, you could tell by his face, his expression on his face. I mean, there's no like a lot of younger folks say there's no cap, right? He's not capping right here. I mean, I think his face even tells you. He's like, nah, man, that's not even a question. I'm Roll Tide. So for anybody that was a little concerned about, man, we got 5-star Keelan Russell that we're so excited about. Damn, he looked smooth when he got some opportunities. Man, we're looking forward to him. We don't want to have to worry about him knowing, man, there's some sharks in the portal. Right? I mean, it's a dirty game. They're talking about Lane Kiffin. He's sending 6 coaches back over to coach Ole Miss tomorrow. There's allegedly tampering going on, and it's just a mess, right? So trust me, people are out to get good players. We saw was it South Carolina? People were saying, hey, man, that coach, he looked like he was trying to get a little too comfortable with Keelan Russell. We know this guy. I mean, both quarterbacks for that matter. But you got an answer there. So I think a lot of people feel really, really strongly about that. But back to the first one. Chase, let me just get your opinion real quick. I mean, I'll play it real quick so you can analyze it one more time. But again, Austin Mack was asked if he would be here in Alabama next season. This was his answer. One more time.
I mean, right now I'm focused on this moment. I mean, we're in the Rose Bowl. I got to be ready. I got to be ready to play on Thursday. So just knowing that I'm one play away and being ready for my guys.
All right, Chase, floor is yours, man. Is he giving us a politically correct answer and you think he has intentions of being back here, or you think, hey, writing's on the wall, brother? I mean, that answer kind of tells you what you need to know.
Exactly. I think what he's saying, there's some truth to it, but I think Austin, with his character and how he presents himself on and off the field, he doesn't want to bring any attention to himself right now. It's all about Indiana and what's going to happen tomorrow. And I'm telling you, if you would have said, yeah, I'm kind of thinking about it with my agents or my family and stuff, it would have blown up immediately. And that's the wrong publicity Alabama needs right now. So we'll see if that holds up the next couple of months, because college football is very weird when it comes to the transfer portal. So, but yeah, I think right now, a lot of these players' mindset, quote unquote, is focused on the game ahead, and that is Indiana.
Let me put the question out there for our listeners, man. Everybody in the chat, radio, all that stuff. You guys can call in or drop an app message real quick. We'll definitely be checking that. But what do you guys think after hearing both responses? I'm not sure if you heard it yesterday or you're hearing it for the first time or whatever the case is, but what do you guys think? I guess we have on Keelan Russell. I mean, there's nothing there. I guess it's more so pertaining to Austin Mack. Keelan Russell was about as straight as you could be. And again, the video even, confirms it, right? Sometimes somebody might say something. You might read their body language or their expression. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. Austin Mack, this is my thoughts on it, Chase. When I first heard it yesterday and I said on the stream, I legit said, yeah, he's gone. As soon as he said that, I was like, yeah, he's gone. Because that very much does give the impression of, hey, man, like, I'm definitely wavering right now. I'm definitely thinking about it. But then after listening to it again, I'm starting to kind of think, you know what? Because like I said, personally, even if I had every intention to come back, I feel like that's the right answer to talk about. Because to me, that is I'm not blaming the person who asked it, but that's somewhat of a selfish question, right? When you're talking about, hey, all of us are here in California at the Rose Bowl we're supposed to be on a mission, right? And that is to beat the Indiana Hoosiers so we can advance. I personally would get that question like, man, I don't want to put the attention on me and what I'm doing. No, we're here, have a job. And like he said, like he is the backup. If they need him to go in, his ass has to be ready to play. It's going to fall on his shoulders. So the last thing he wants to do is, come out in the media and say one thing, and then he ends up getting called up to action, and then something would, it could just go. Yeah. So I don't know. That being said, his offensive coordinator or former offensive coordinator / quarterback coach did just take a job with Michigan State, yeah, as the next offensive coordinator in Nick Sheridan. I think Tia said it, and I actually agree. I would not be shocked if maybe he goes with Nick Sheridan. I mean, listen, players follow coaches all the time. I don't know their quarterback situation. They obviously aren't a good football team. They just fired somebody and hired somebody else. I'm pretty sure it was the deal. I mean, especially if Nick Sheridan just got hired. I'll be honest, I don't even remember exactly what happened with Michigan State. They hadn't really been very good in several years, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see that happen. Regardless of whatever happens. It's really, I don't think it's that deep. I mean, for a fact, Keelan for sure is back. and then you got to wait and see with Ty. I don't know with that one, Chase. I'll be honest with you. Only anybody else, I would say, with the grade Ty's going to get, I would say, yeah, they're gone. Like without a doubt, they're gone. Yeah, they might have had a little bit of a slump. Listen, if you have even a late first round grade, you're a quarterback, just go. However, knowing the maturity of Ty, knowing the patience that he has displayed, without a doubt, I mean, I could totally see him coming back and saying, hey, especially say now if we win a national championship, I mean, I think he's definitely gone. I mean, because he accomplished. But say we don't win the championship, and then he's also weighing the options of, hey, I could go back to school. NIL is, I'm taken care of. Yeah, signing bonus the first round would be a lot higher, but still, I'm probably making sort of 7-figure range, I would imagine, as a quarterback at the University of Alabama. And if he didn't make it this year, I'm sure if he came back, he would. Keelan's already coming back, so I could totally see him coming back. And I don't think that'd be bad either. I know some people might be eager for the next thing, but to me, if you got a quarterback that started this year and got you to this point, and he wants to come back to school as a fifth-year guy, I know Keelan's there, but it ain't going to hurt Keelan necessarily to develop one more year. Honestly, I think that'd probably be a solid situation. I think as talented as Keelan is, at least you know what you're getting out of Ty. And then you still have Keelan right there if you do need to turn to him. I'll be honest. I think if Ty comes back, it actually probably would work out well for this football team. But again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But this is one of the things that came out of media day yesterday that I just wanted to throw out there because we have been talking about the whole quarterback thing. It's like a lot of people have these guys went and asked these kind of questions, and those were their answers. Again, couldn't have no meaning at all. But like I said, I just two vastly different answers. So couldn't help but just throw that out there. Also, real quick, I know we're about to hit a timeout, but in terms of other people, again, being asked very direct questions, which I'll be honest with you, Chase, as a player, I probably would be annoyed with some of this stuff. But to be honest, I mean, as a member of the media right now, man, listen, these are just some straight shooter questions. All the hey, what's your favorite food to eat on Thanksgiving? Man, we can skip all that, man. Just ask them. If you're going to ask them, just do it. And we had another one, Ryan Williams, and I don't know if we got to mention this one or not, but same deal with him. I don't have the clip just yet, so I'll just throw this on here for a second. But he flat out said, "I'm Alabama through and through. I have no intentions of being anywhere else." So you're getting some confirmations on these guys. So there you go. You got a number of guys doubling down and saying, "Hey, man, we're Alabama through and through. You ain't got to worry about us," which is definitely good to hear. All right, we got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we'll keep on rolling. There's plenty more to dive into. I want to hear a little bit on Indiana's side, right? Fernando Mendoza. If you guys have not heard him speak to the media, it's quite the experience. Very interesting guy, but you got to love it, man. He's very authentic. He is himself. But he had some words about Alabama, and some very strong words in a positive way. We'll listen to that and more when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge. Again, Gray Robertson joins us at the top of the hour to talk about this game, preview it, predict it, and also the other college football playoff game matches that will be taking place. Again, tonight you got Ohio State, Miami, 6:30. We'll talk about that a little bit. And Ole Miss, Georgia, Chase, that is a very interesting game as well, man. Lane Kiffin, he's not there anymore, but his staff is. And my guy Pete Golden, man, a lot of you guys not big fans of Pete, but I love Pete. That's my guy. We'll see what he can do. He led his team to their first win in the first round against Tulane. Now he gets a chance to have a rematch against Kirby Smart in Georgia. So two of my former coordinators going at it. We'll see how that one goes, and maybe we'll talk about it right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. All right, let's see. Did we already hit on that Ryan Williams thing? I couldn't remember, guys. I know Smitty said you have. I wasn't sure if he was talking about that. I didn't know if that came out during the show or not. There's so many things rolling out. We might have been able to hit that at the last second, but regardless, so a lot of people were concerned about that. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that got asked. I know the kicker got asked some stuff that was pretty interesting. Pastor Payne should be on. We saw him last night. I could text him. You guys want me to send him a text? Let's shoot him a text. Let's see if he'll jump on, man. Yeah, he brought some shit to the Bama Center last night. Excuse me, some stuff. Sorry, let me not. My bad. Let's see if we can summon them. We summoned them last night, man. Justin said they had a couple guys sick and down, so I was like, let's see if we can get them on there. Okay, Dr. Crystal, we got Dr. Crystal now. She's helping out with the likes, and I forgot I didn't even mention, man. If you guys haven't, man, hit that like button. That always helps us out. I appreciate it, man. And you guys have been killing it, by the way. Our likes have been, man. Sorry, my cable's acting funny again, so I gotta be careful. But our likes have been on point, man. We've we've been crushing the likes, man. So hopefully we can keep that up. I think we're at like 20 right now. Let's see if we can get up to 25 during this break. See if we can hit 25.
I can't help you with that.
Okay. I didn't think I asked you for anything. Sorry, sir. You got Ohio State tonight over Miami? Yeah, I did too. But I feel like Miami might I don't know, man. I feel like it could end up being a closer game. I think Ohio State is favored to win by like 9.5. I just don't know. Thanks for jumping on. Great show. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Appreciate you guys having us, Justin. That was fun, man. Seriously. That was fun. If you guys missed it, man, go check it out. Me and my dad were on the Bama Standard last night and breaking this down again. We'll talk about it a little bit more today here, but it was good, man. It was fun. Dr. Crystal's leaning the U. You know what's funny? Some reason I'm like, man, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if Miami pulls it off, but I definitely think it's going to be a closer game than some people anticipate. But we'll have to see. I really like Miami's defensive line, man. And I know one thing that Indiana did good in that Big Ten championship game was get after the quarterback. They got after Julian Sand a lot. I think they had a handful of sacks on him, if I'm not mistaken. But they had a lot of pressure regardless. That said, I mean, you got a defensive line in Miami, and I think Ohio State's line, they're okay offensively. A solid group, but maybe not as good as probably some people might have anticipated. I think they lost a number of guys, but Bain, I like him a lot. And they just do a good job, man, getting after the quarterback. Depends on which Carson Beck shows up. Yeah, exactly. I like the running game in Miami is solid. But you're right. I think Carson Beck, man, he could be the X factor for sure. Definitely be big for him to have a good game. Arthur, you thought that was a non-answer? I don't know if it's a non-answer. I mean, did he directly answer it? No. I mean, so you still don't know. I mean, which again, to be fair, really shouldn't even matter. You know what I mean? Like, I know people just want to know, but I don't know most people, even if they listen, if someone had plans on transferring, I don't think anybody would, if they hadn't announced it, would just flat out answer that question like that anyway, you know? So, which is probably why people still have speculation. Back into this New Year's Eve edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store. America's arch sport experts. It's New Year's Eve. You're looking for a place to go hang out, watch some of these games. Again, Miami, Ohio State tonight. You got the big one in the Rose Bowl, granddaddy of them all, tomorrow with Bama, plus Georgia, Ole Miss. I'm definitely going to be tuning into that one. And you got to tune into Oregon and Texas Tech to see who Alabama will play, given that they beat Indiana tomorrow. So if you're looking for a place to do that, you enjoy a nice stick, a nice cigar, nice bourbon. Got 160 of them for you right there at R&R Cigars. Check them out, 2703 Gary Fitz Street right here in Tuscaloosa. You can't miss it. A great place to go do all that stuff, man. It's a vibe. They've got the mansion that is now the Cigar Mansion, so make sure you guys check that out if you haven't. The website, rnrcigars.com. Go order from them on the website. Best deals on cigars you can find, plus code Miller's Edge will get you a discount, so take advantage of that, man. I'm telling you. They'll hook you up, man. Reagan does a good job with it. You guys hear from when he comes on the show with his smoking hot picks, but he's definitely passionate about his cigars, and they've always got some cool stuff in the making. That they're making new cigars and they're running specials and whatnot. Hell, he threw a special out there when we were on the show last time. You know, depending on how much we beat Oklahoma by, which ended up being 10 points. So there's a 10% discount. So they're always doing fun stuff, man. Reagan's a fun dude, so make sure you guys check them out. Again, that is R&R Cigars, the official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014. All right, we've got Smitty on the phone lines. I got some more clips I want to play, but I want to talk to my guy Smitty real quick. I want to get his thoughts as we continue on this prediction Wednesday, New Year's Eve edition, 205-342-9904. Smitty, talk to me, man. What's on your mind?
Well, how's it going, Christian?
Oh, it's going well, brother. I can't complain, man. How's everything? You gonna brag about the weather again now that the weather dropped on us? And it's like we're ice cubes down here, and you're probably living it up in 65-degree weather right now.
Well, I won't be happy after I pull out the credit card for dinner tonight with the ladies. So, yeah, that kind of hurts. I pull the credit card out for New Year's Eve dinner. That's all I got to say.
Jesus.
Yeah, I have to plasma tomorrow.
Get you some fun. Just get you some fireworks, man, and just go light some fireworks and just call it a day, man. You ain't got to blow. You got to blow all that money, man. Come on, man.
Hey,
those are expensive too nowadays. Though the fireworks aren't cheap, man. I got to hit my guy Keaton up. Keaton Anderson. I don't know if you know this, who played football here. He played safety. He was the original 31 before Will Anderson came to town. But Keaton's family, man, they own TNT fireworks. I don't know if our listeners. Oops. I don't know if he got excited by me telling him that or something just came up. I hope he's good, man. It sounded like he got a little surprised by something. I don't know if it was the news of Keaton's family owning TNT, but I hope my guy Smitty's all right, man. That kind of worried me. Chase, maybe keep an eye on the phone line, see if he calls back. That was a little interesting. All right. Well, real quick, I got this video right here anyway. Is he back on here? Let's see. All right, he's back. All right, good. All right, Smitty, you back with us, man? I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. You had me nervous. I was like, he either got excited that Keaton's family owns TNT, or he just was driving and got distracted and something just went left, and I got a little nervous because I don't want you suing us over on the show, brother.
I had a dead spot, but like what you were talking about, like with those interviews, I heard the one Richard Young. I was like, come on now, guys. We all know.
I didn't hear that. I didn't. Wait, hold on. We gotta look it up real quick. Well, they asked him the same. So is that basically what everybody was doing in the media room yesterday? Were they just basically going up to guys and asking, "Hey, are you going to be here? Or are you going to transfer?" All right, cool. Next, is that what was going on?
Yeah, but but some of those players, it's kind of a common sense thing. You can't knock them for it. That who's going to be out.
Listen, it's part of the game. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I mean, I feel bad that now they're subject to just being asked direct questions like that, but it is what it is, I guess. I mean, it's a different day and age now, so, but it's kind of awkward, I guess.
And the problem is also, if they ask, they have to be so non-committal. I believe the coaches know who's going to be out anyway, but they'll come off of them as being liars and hypocrites, so you put those kids in a bad spot, But
then it kind of creates a lot of distractions, right? I mean, if you just think about it, I mean, these guys are trying to get ready to play a game, and I get the media has a job. Would I be going around asking that? Hell no. I mean, because to me, it just is one of those things where it's like, first of all, they're not going to sit there and go, "Yes, I plan on entering the portal." I mean, I wouldn't think that. And two, if they do, I mean, think about the distractions. I mean, these guys might read on Twitter, "Oh, damn, bro, you told him you're leaving. Damn, I didn't know you were leaving." Like, that's just. I don't know. I just want our guys to be locked in on this game, and I think that's why you can kind of sense, like, at least for me, when I was listening to the two coaches this morning during their press conferences, Cignetti and DeBoer kind of just were, trying to answer, be respectful, just, get it over with. I think everybody's kind of sick of having cameras and microphones in their face talking about it. They just want to go out there and let their guys play.
Yeah, and you talked about Ty earlier. Here's the thing. If he gets a good grade, he has to leave. At the end of the day, this is a financial decision. NIL won't cover it. Like, I don't care what NIL you get. It's not going to trump NFL money. And I know people may say second round or whatever. A lot of times the second round guy may end up going to a better situation than the first round guy. Jalen Hurts, the Shuck kid at New Orleans now. And I just think that if you going first, because we know the Jets need a quarterback. So, and we've seen that mess. Cleveland, we've seen that mess.
Yeah.
We've seen some teams that did like Cam Ward this year. Oh, you stink. Are we sure he's the guy? But then you got Tyler Shuck in a decent situation in New Orleans. Oh, he's the guy. But look at the surroundings. And I think that, but then you also could risk losing money. Garrett Nussmeier lost money coming back. Matt Barkley about 10 plus 15 years ago. I don't know. almost that long ago, lost money. He was going to be a first-round pick. He stayed in school, got picked apart. He was a fifth-round pick, became a journeyman. Sometimes you just got to go and worry about the other stuff later because you can't get that money back.
But according to your logic, though, I mean, you could be in a better spot if you get picked a little later. So, I mean, seems like regardless. So, yeah, I mean, it's all about perspective, I guess, and weighing your options and, you know, I guess weighing the risks, right? Like you said, there is a chance you come back to school. It's not guaranteed you climb up draft boards. And I'd almost argue the quarterback situation next year, I'd probably argue that it's a little bit better than what it is right now. I personally, if I was Ty Simpson, if it was me, I'll be honest with you, I probably would go ahead and leave. If I had a first round grade, I would probably go ahead and leave. And I'm just like him. You know, I'm very passionate about, you know, the University of Alabama. And even when I was a player, same thing. I had a similar mindset, very patient mentality, mature mentality. I mean, I was very similar to Tyson. That's why I like him a lot. However, you know, first round grade is a first round grade. And I yes, you can't go back to college once you leave, but I don't know. I just feel like as a quarterback, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he comes back. If anything, I think it would be good for him. But I kind of like what you just were talking about, just weighing those things, then knowing the quarterback class in next year's. I mean, I don't know. I probably would just go ahead and take the money now.
Yeah, because look at Dante Moore. Everybody said, well, he doesn't have that much experience. But, hey, if they got him as a top 5 pick, you worry about that later. Give me my $50 million. You know, because what happened, you pop your shoulder like Drew Brees did, good luck, or your hip with Tua, and Tua got lucky there with his draft spot.
Man, Tua was beaten, bruised by the time he left here, man. I don't even think people realize, like, Tua, man, that first of all, that hip injury was bad. I think it was similar to like what CJ Mosley had against LSU, like a dislocation type deal. And then, I mean, Tua, had high ankle sprain. Tua got beat up here, brother. Before he got to leave,
he got lucky.
Yeah. Something to consider for sure.
But about the game, right? I was saying a lot of media. I was like, they pretty much telling Alabama just go check out In-N-Out Burger in Cali and go to fly back. You know, that's what it sounds like, because these people are like, look, man, I know Alabama ain't looked pretty all year long, but one, I don't think there's a team in the country that played as many good defenses that Alabama has played this year. I'm just being real with you, especially the pass rush. Also, this team, they pretty much telling Alabama they ain't bleak. Let's just be real about that. And this team has pride. They got their back against the wall. We have one of the best big game coaches in the country. They keep saying, well, they don't run the ball well. I think Kalen DeBoer has known that since early on in the season, and they've been coaching around that all season long. You know, but it's not like he just figured that out last week. They knew this. And they still call run plays. But I think what happens is Indiana plays a lot of zone. You may have to try to run them out of it, but also Ty plays pretty well when you are playing zone. And I just think that at the other thing also that unlocked was Ty, like we always said, take those 50-50 shots when you have them.
Yeah.
Because you know these refs are flag happy when it comes to interference, but it's incumbent on your guys to make those tough catches as well, because you got to help your quarterback out and make tough catches. And I think with the defense, you correct me if I'm wrong, you're the defensive guy. Maybe they don't need to sit back in zone in this game, because Fernando Mendoza, he'll pick you apart in that zone because he got a good offensive line as well. Maybe you need to go and start heating people up and trust that good secondary you have, because we got 2 physical corners. We got good safeties. Now I need Stab to set the quarterback when he gets that free blitz on him. But and our linebackers have gotten so much better. And I think we got some young guys in there on the front who's hungry. And I think maybe you just got to trust your guys man up. And if you lose that way, you shake their hand.
Yeah, no, 100%. Me and my dad were talking about that last night, and we were breaking it down. Look, man, from a defensive perspective, you got to force the issue. And that's what I've been saying. Go back and watch the Oklahoma game and watch the difference. Early in the game, we were sitting in zone, playing some cover 2, typical zone looks that we like to run. And listen, I think you mix everything up. I'm not saying you just go run man coverage the whole game. No, but I do think when we did make that adjustment, we went from playing soft zone, which we were getting picked apart by John Mateer, which I agree with you. Mendoza is a type of quarterback. He's very smart. He makes good reads, and he's on time, right? Those are all really important. He can extend plays too. You see him do it, right? He'll use his legs, rolling out, extend plays, and he'll last second find somebody. That's what happens in zone coverage, guys. If they don't plaster their guy or they're in their zone, right? They find windows and they'll pick you apart. But when we played man, it changed the whole game for John Mateer. Gave our guys up front so a little bit more time to get some pressure because things weren't able just to pick apart little things because they had man on man immediately, right? And we have the players to do it. And I mean, yes, you will see times where Mendoza can scramble and then take off, but he's not as much of a dual threat as some of these other guys where you're too concerned about playing too much man if you're not using the spy. I don't think that's really the issue. I think our guys up front can handle that in terms of the containment. So I'm with you. I definitely think you should keep a similar game plan to what you saw in the three quarters out of that Oklahoma game where we started playing a lot more man coverage, started bringing pressure. I think you got to heat Mendoza up. He's a good quarterback. That's what you do with all quarterbacks, and that's what me and my dad said last night. You would rather, if you're going to lose this game, lose it on your terms, right? Don't just let somebody pick you apart and, they do a good job controlling the clock, running the football, just doing what they want to do. No, right? Heat them up, make him uncomfortable, try to force him to make some bad decisions because, again, he's not going to gift you anything, so you got to find a way to force it, and you do that by bringing pressure. And I'm not saying we have to do the whole, send the house because under Kane Womack now he'll get aggressive now. You got to be careful. You don't want to do too much now. You're mugging, you're showing cover zero all the time. Like, no, you got to be careful with that. But, some of the simulated stuff that we've been seeing as of recent, right? And just bringing a safety here or there, bringing the backer, right? We're just bringing five. Popping out, giving different looks. I think disguising could be big in this game. Really try to make it hard on Mendoza that way. Again, we've been doing a much better job of that this year. All those things got to come to play. And I said last night, it's now or never, right? This is the last time. If you lose this game, it's the last time this team will ever play together, right? Yes, if you come back, yes, you get an extra year. But with the different group, especially with transfer portal, things could look a lot different next year, right? So go out there. If you're on this football team, if I could give these guys any advice, go out there and let it loose. If you're a coach, this better be the best game plan that you've ever had. Not just because, it's Indiana, but no, because it's now or never. And literally, you have nothing to lose. Like, people already counting you out. People don't think you're going to win. Why not go be aggressive? Go take it, right? Go prove it. Again, if you lose a game, a lot of people wrote you off anyways. A lot of people didn't even think you'd get to this point. Well, here you are. So to me, I don't think Alabama has as much to lose. And I think you can afford to just go out there and force the issue. And listen, like you just said, if they beat you like that, if you go out there, you put pressure on them, you go play your game and you play to your style, and they end up making more plays than you, and they win the football game, shake their hand. It is what it is. But don't go out there and just play soft, conservative, and nah, I don't think that's the move at all.
Yeah, and I'll say this, I know you're up against it. Someone posted like Mendoza's stats against the better defenses he played this year. He didn't necessarily carve them teams up. I only think he threw double-digit touchdowns. And even in Ohio State game, that was a missed field goal in Ohio State. And, but I still think Ohio State needed a game like that because they haven't been tested as much. But I just think that Alabama, let's be real here. Indiana, I think they're a great team. They're well coached. And I think those coordinators going to get hired by somebody next year. But at the same time, we play great defenses. Oklahoma, Tennessee has a pass rush. Missouri has a pass rush. Georgia. And we beat Georgia at Georgia. I don't care if people say they're the better team or whatever. They still went to their house and beat them. It never trailed. And so, and this team has hit adversity from game one and bounced back and didn't quit. And I was just saying, it may not be pretty. It may not be 2015, but this team has enough talent to beat anybody in the country if they play their game. And I just believe also, I know a lot of people keep saying feed Ryan Williams. I love the kid, but you can't feed him this game. If he's open, you throw it to him. But you can't just call plays just to feed it to him against this team. Because especially when we don't have the run game to fall back on. If someone's open, fine. But if they're not, let's just not worry about trying to feed someone. You just got to go with who's there and throw to the open man. And I think we'll win like 24-21. And I'll give you a quick picks too, Christian. I think Ohio State beats Miami because Carson Beck ain't good enough to beat Miami. You need a quarterback to beat that defense. I think Georgia beats Ole Miss. They'll cover because I don't think Ole Miss defense is good enough. And I think Texas Tech beats Oregon.
Dang. So you got Texas Tech, Ohio State, and then who'd you have with Georgia and Ole Miss? Yeah, Georgia. Yeah. Man,
yeah.
I'm excited for that game. I mean, the way Georgia looked last time we saw them, I mean, they look damn good, man. I think it's going to be a tough task, but I just think it'd be so cool to see Pete, man, get a big win like that. I'm a big fan of Pete again. I know some Alabama fans think he's the worst thing ever, but I'm telling you guys, man, it never was all on him. I mean, I'm sure there's some things he probably could have cleaned up, but you talk about a player's coach, a guy that loves the game, he's passionate about it, and just a smart football. I mean, I learned a lot from Pete, man. And he's a smart dude, really, really, really smart football coach. I'm really pulling for him, but it's tough because I like Kirby too, man. Kirby recruited me to Alabama. He was my first coordinator there, so it's going to be a good one. But Smitty, we appreciate you, man. Good stuff as always, brother.
Happy New Year to you and everybody out there.
Yes, sir. You too, man. Don't spend too much money out there. That club now. Smitty's gonna run up that credit card, man. I'm telling you, don't do it, man. It ain't worth it. You ain't gonna remember it anyway. Hey, real quick, since we're gonna combine these breaks, man, we got a super chat from our guy Phil over on the stream. Again, if you guys haven't checked us out, man, come hang out with us on the stream at the Miller's Edge. Big thanks to Phil. He says, "Do you think Ryan Williams will have a good game? DeBoer was optimistic. Ryan looked relaxed in interviews. If he does, it could open up explosive opportunities for Brooks, Jeremy Horton. Happy New Year's." Well, happy New Year's to you, Phil. Seriously, thank you for the support. But real quick, and I'll definitely piggyback on this after, once we go to our break. But do I think Ryan Williams will have a good game? It's hard for me to say. I mean, you just never know. You know what I mean? I mean, does he have the potential to have a big game? Absolutely, man. And I think he's due for one, whether it's this game or next. Ryan Williams is going to come back to life. Best believe that. He's got too much talent not to. And it's, of course, while I'm saying that, I think they just showed a clip of him dropping the football. That is crazy timing on that. That said, though, man, listen, with his ability, he's one of the few guys that I do feel like, listen, he has that deep threat. He's got that yards after catch ability, right, with the ball in his hands. And I know what Smitty's saying. I agree with him. You don't want to force too much where you're getting out of a rhythm because you're forcing things, similar to like what we saw with Milroe when they were trying to force everything to Ryan because he was pretty much, what we had. Or not Ryan. Wait, when was that? Damn, what was that? Who was that I'm thinking of? Anyway, yeah, no, it was Milroe last year. Long story short, I don't think you overdo it, but you got to find ways to get your playmakers in football. You know what I mean? And whether that's screen game, whether that's hell, even the little it was like a reverse screen that we ran Ryan's first game back after the concussion that he took for like 70 yards for a house call. Like when he has the football in his hands, man, he's the most talented guy on this team with the football in his hands. Now, he might be struggling with drops, but there's no denying that. Just look at how he handled the Rock when we played Georgia in the SEC championship game. That's Ryan Williams is what he does. So he's due for something. He does have that ability to take the top off the defense. We just got to get his confidence up, which I think they can do that by getting him some little short, quick game, rhythm plays in there, pop pass, whatever it is, man. Get that guy comfortable because once he gets that confidence back, I'm telling you, man, I think he's gonna take it to another level. So, and I think that'd be big, man. I think it'd be huge if he could. All right, let's hit this top of the hour break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Gray Robertson. I think we got another call. If you want to hang out, Gray will be on here probably for like 15, 20 minutes or so. Feel free to hang out. If you guys on the phone lines want to hang up, that way you can listen, then call back. Feel free to do that. But we got Gray Robertson of the Crimson Tide Sports Network and SEC Network coming up next. My partner in crime over on the LLH Healthcare post-game party show on the network will be joined by Gray Robertson after this quick timeout right here on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
Looking for a new...
Man, I can't speak. Of course, how about that timing on that? I think Ryan dropped that pass literally right when I was saying that, but regardless, man. He's going to be back. Let me go back to that, though. Let's see. And again, these are just indie drills. So, I mean, nobody should read too deep into it. I almost think, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's literally just overthinking it. I almost think it's similar to like, I wouldn't necessarily call it the yips. But listen, imagine you've got the media sitting right here. I'm not making an excuse. I'm just telling you guys because I've been in these shoes, man. Yeah, that timing was crazy, Phil. That timing was legit crazy. You got media at practice, so they're typically not, right? There's only preseason, there's opportunities, but still, you got all these people nationally talking about him having issues with drops. Now you got cameras sitting there right on you. And I get it. Hey, he's got cameras on him all the time when he plays. I get it, but like I think he's overthinking it. Because listen, guys, this is just a routine pitch and catch. This is literally indie drill, just kind of getting the blood flowing, right? And if you're telling me as talented as this guy is, yeah, he's overthinking. I think he's in his head, man. You can just yeah, I think he's in his head. He just got to get out. He's got to get out of his head, man. I think once he does that, he'll be back rolling. This game feels like Mizzou/Vandy week 5. You mean like the way you think it's going to go? And I'd argue Vandy is more dangerous than Indiana. Ricky, whoa, Ricky, more dangerous than Indiana? Man, listen, I mean, I definitely respect Vandy. They're a good football team, but I wouldn't say more dangerous, man. I wouldn't say that. Don't confuse like flashiness with being a dangerous team, man. Indiana is not flashy at all. Oh wait, Chase, do you have Gray's contact still, or I need to send that? Let me send it if you don't have it real quick. Let's see. If you guys haven't, man, real quick while I do this, man, smash that like button real fast. I appreciate that. You guys have been killing it, seriously. Last 2 days have been we've been crushing the likes, man. Oh, you got them ready. All right, good deal. Bet. Yeah, I just think he's overthinking it, guys. But he's due, man. Just knowing how Indiana plays their defense, man. They do play a good bit of zone. They run a number of different things. They disguise really well. They can get after the quarterback. So, I definitely think there should be some opportunities with some of the things that they do. But what I will say is, though, again, I hope we do a lot of rhythm things like the quick game, all that stuff. I'm all for I want us to get some explosive plays again. I think that we have to have them in this game. But I feel like we were over reliant for a period on like some of these long developing routes. And I'm just like, with a team like this that's going to throw different looks at you and do different things, and they're going to bring pressure. When I say pressure, they're not necessarily bringing the house, but they're bringing backers and bring guys from different places. You know what I mean? Like they're going to attack you in that way. I think just, getting your guys the ball quick, man, good timing, finding a rhythm offensive could just be huge. And welcome back into this New Year's Eve edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's art sport experts. Hope you guys are doing well and hope you guys are ready for a new year. I know we're geared up for the Rose Bowl, but hope you guys are geared up for 2026 right around the corner, which I'll be honest, Chase, I'm one of those people that's more like, it's technically just the next day, but I know a lot of people do, put a lot of focus on the new year, and hopefully we all can start it on the right foot, right? With an Alabama dub over the Indiana Hoosiers out in California in the Rose Bowl, granddaddy of them all. We're now joined by my partner in crime, who helps me discuss Alabama football post-game on the LLH Healthcare post-game party show on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Gray Robertson joins us. Gray, hey, it's about that time, man. We've had some time off. Hope you had a good Christmas. Hope you have some good plans for New Year's Eve, but tomorrow, man, it's time. We're rolling. We got Indiana coming up, man. How's everything?
I'm good, partner. It's it's kind of crazy to think about how both long and short the holiday season can be. I feel like it's been a month since Alabama last played, but Christmas feels like 2 days ago, and now we've got to, batten down the hatches and do all the New Year's Eve things and then get ready for a big time football game tomorrow, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. I just objectively cannot wait for Alabama, Indiana. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a really good game. A lot of people not really showing us a whole bunch of love nationally. We'll dive into that here in a second. But Gray, let me ask you this. I know you've been to a lot of venues. You travel a lot. You've been watching Alabama football for quite some time. You've been a fan since you were young. I remember you telling me. Have you been out to the Rose Bowl? Did you go the last time that we went a couple years ago by chance?
I have been to the Rose Bowl, but this is I'm curious what the the listenership will think. I have never been out for an Alabama game.
Oh, wow.
The one time that I have been out to the Rose Bowl was for the Florida State Auburn national championship. Went with the SEC and sat with all the SEC folks, and that was kind of my first time taking in that venue truly, and it was absolutely glorious. So yeah, I mean, there's, in terms of scenes for a college football game, whether you're watching on TV or whether you're there, it's very, very hard to top what the Rose Bowl can put together.
Yeah, no, I've never been, but definitely you hear all the noise about it. You see the venue, the history. It's really cool. I wish I could have played in the Rose Bowl. I mean, I played out in California, but definitely wasn't in the Rose Bowl. I played in the national championship game out in San Francisco, and yeah, that wasn't a very fun game for us, especially it being my my last game ever in an Alabama uniform. Man, getting curb stomped by Clemson. Man, that was not fun. So that's why when I think of Alabama out in California, I know everybody, and I asked for the history on it. They're like, no, we have a good history out at the Rose Bowl, and I'm like, I just think California, Alabama. I'm like, I think of last Rose Bowl. I think of my senior year. I'm like, I need some positive vibes. So hopefully we can get that tomorrow. So let's dive into it, Gray. Let's start there, and I definitely will get your thoughts on these other playoff games. I know we got one tonight in Ohio State taking on the Miami Hurricanes. Should be an interesting game as well. But when you look at this Rose Bowl game, Gray, again, a lot of national presence in the media, not really giving Alabama too much of a chance. Does that surprise you at all? I think that the line was like 6.5 points initially, and I think it's still about that. But I'm hearing ESPN, I'm hearing all type of networks that just say, man, Indiana, they're too well coached, they're too disciplined, they don't make mistakes, they're fundamentally sound, they're tough, they're physical. This Alabama team, they've had a rocky second half of the season. They look good in 3 quarters against Oklahoma, but we don't know which Bama's going to show up. How do you view this game, Gray? Are you confident?
I would say I am relentlessly intrigued, because the last thing that you said about Alabama to me is what makes this a dangerous game. In a lot of ways, everyone, possibly including the coaching staff, really don't know what Alabama team is going to show up. So I understand why that's a negative. You would love consistency. You would love, to go on a joyless murder ball rampage for 4 quarters. But it also means that, the thing that we've talked about in postgame could certainly be true. I still don't think Alabama's played their best game yet. And it could be possible that that game is coming tomorrow. Now, Indiana has shown, like you mentioned, really, really strong consistency, and they're very efficient defensively, offensively. Every time I turned on an Indiana game this year, they were getting 6 yards on first down, setting up 3rd and short, or picking up the first down on 2nd down, going on these long drives that are methodical. They force turnovers really, really efficiently as well. And that's certainly something to be happy about if you're an Indiana fan, and to take into account when you're analyzing the game. But I think Alabama, being kind of a talent-filled wild card, makes this a matchup that's pretty hard to predict. I really don't buy the conversation that's, circling around saying that Indiana's going to blow out Alabama. I don't really see how that's possible. Same as I don't really think if Alabama were to win, it would be a blowout. I think that this is a game that's going to be pretty tight, just when you factor in experience and talent level and the possibility of what Alabama can put on the field.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think regardless, it's going to be a close game, right? I can't sit there and say who's going to win. I do look at this game, and I think Alabama, without a doubt, has the ability to win this football game. I can't say it. I know for sure they will, because who knows? Again, Indiana's a really good football team, and like we just talked about, I mean, if this is what I said last night, I was on with some guys over the Bama Standard doing a podcast, and this is how I view it, Gray. From my perspective, if Alabama shows up and they find a way to recreate what they did for 3 quarters against Oklahoma, and that was defensively providing pressure, right, sacking and affecting the quarterback, right, coming up with turnovers, offensively protecting the football, finding a way to pick up the blitz, giving Ty some time, letting him settle down, and then allowing our receivers to help him out, make some plays, right? Latzia Brooks, We hadn't seen that in a few weeks, and Ty hadn't been playing great, but the receivers hadn't stepped up either. If anything, they also, were playing, probably under their standard. And we saw all that come back to life. Hell, even special teams. Special teams was good. Shout out Connor Talty. He outplayed the Lou Garza Award winner in Oklahoma. If we can find a way to recreate that, which I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's possible, right? We're definitely capable of doing it. I think Alabama wins this football game. But I did say the but to that was the fact that there's no guarantees with that. And the reality is, I think the reason, because there's a question, why is the national media so heavily leaning into Indiana? And I said, I don't think it's necessarily that there's an agenda out to go against Alabama. Yeah, there's Alabama fatigue, but I think if we're being honest and transparent, their job is to watch the game, and they're not going to watch it from the same perspective as all of us do, right, as Alabama fans. They're going to watch it from just a level of, all right, this is an Alabama football team playing so-and-so, let's see what happens. And what they saw on tape was a struggling offense that did not look the same as the offense did earlier in the season. That's just what they saw, and you can't blame them, especially even the SEC championship game against a quality Georgia team. So that said, I do believe Alabama needs to just build off of what they showed up with against Oklahoma in those 3 quarters, and they should have some success. But, Gray, I do want to ask you, when you look at this Indiana team, you talked about the discipline and you talked about, all the things that they do well. Tell me a little bit about Mendoza, because I know you watch a lot of football. What have you seen out of him this whole season? I know a lot of people say, well, he hadn't really been tested. And then when he did play some good football teams, he didn't really show those same numbers. I think the stat was maybe 6 total touchdowns against the top teams that he played. It was nothing compared to the 20-something against, some of the weaker opponents that they played. Just tell me your perspective on Mendoza, and do you think he could be an issue for this Alabama defense?
I think he certainly could be. And, but there are a lot of things to like about him. There's a reason that people are tossing him around as maybe the number 1 overall pick. He diagnoses defenses very quickly. A lot of the mistakes that John Mateer makes and made in that last game, Fernando Mendoza is not going to make those mistakes. He can read defenses very well. He doesn't panic. And if you look at the stats, you're exactly right. Against Ohio State, against Penn State, if you look at the top EPA defenses that he's faced, the overall numbers are not great. But what I love about him as a quarterback is he makes the throws and completes the passes and leads the drives when it matters most. And I think specifically that Penn State game, which I watched, I would say 80% of it in real time. I mean, that was, but I think we had a night game that day, and, we were just sitting around the house watching it. And I was so taken by how he kind of flushed a shaky start to the second half to lead that drive and eventually take the lead late against the Penn State defense. I know Penn State didn't have a good year. That defense is still very good. And just his ability to make the big throws, it's kind of similar a little bit to what J.J. McCarthy was able to do a few years ago in the Rose Bowl against Alabama. That was another game where J.J. McCarthy did not have a good game at all. And then all of a sudden, in the biggest moments, he led that last drive to force overtime. That's the kind of quarterback that Fernando Mendoza is, and that's something that you can't really quantify with a stat. It's an intangible that makes him extremely dangerous and is going to make this a very, very difficult matchup for Kane Womack and the entire secondary, because they've got to figure out a way to confuse him and also make him feel a little bit of pressure, probably without blitzing a ton. Or if you do blitz, you've got to throw a lot of exotic looks at him that he probably hasn't seen, which is hard to manufacture because he's played college football for many, many years at many different levels and in multiple different conferences. But he's very impressive, and his poise in the big moments, to me, is the thing that A, won him the Heisman, but also B, makes him a very, very tough matchup for this defense.
Without a doubt. And I agree in terms of everything you just said about him, but also defensively, what you need to do. And I've been harping on pressure. We just got done with the call. And I said, I mean, me and my dad were talking about this as well last night, man. Go out on your own ability, right? I mean, go force the issue. Don't sit back there. Listen, go be aggressive, man. If they make some plays, which they will, so be it. But I would rather, if you're going to drop a game, drop it on your terms. And I think you take the risk, right? Go out there and heat him up, make him uncomfortable, disguise. The other thing you mentioned, something that we've been doing way better this season than I feel like we did last season. I think it's paid dividends. So like again, just going back to Xavier Brown's pick six that he had just last week against Oklahoma. I mean, that was a huge, a big play by him, but also the disguise was a big role in that. It completely confused John Mateer and it forced that mistake. That's what I think. You got to find a way to force these mistakes because, like you mentioned, he's not just going to naturally make a whole bunch of them himself. Very smart guy. If you haven't listened to his press conferences, any of our listeners out there, trust me, you hear him talk. He's if he didn't play football, he probably would be a rocket scientist with Elon Musk or something. He just is a very quirky, very interesting guy, but a really good football player. That's for sure. Great. Let me get your thoughts real quick on some of these other matchups real quick before I get your final prediction on this one. You got Ohio State, Miami tonight. We can start there, man. Listen, Ohio State's favored by, I think, almost 10 points. But I will say, for some reason, I just have this feeling that Miami's going to make this a close game. Do you have that same feeling? Do you think there could be an upset tonight maybe? How do you feel that game goes?
I don't know if I see an upset, but I think that the 10 points is excessive a little bit. I think a lot of that is built into our purview. A lot of us in the media that view Ohio State as the best team in college football. And I think I would still side with that stance right now. But the thing that I think Miami can really attack is the Ohio State offensive line, which does feel like a bit of a step down from last year. And Miami's got Reuben Bain and all these beasts up front who can put pressure on quarterbacks. And we saw Ohio State struggle a little bit with talented defensive linemen and linebackers in the Big Ten championship. I talked about this, I think, in the postgame show after Oklahoma. Ohio State gave up 5 sacks against Indiana. I think they've given up 11 all year. So if Miami can heat up Julian Sand, I think that they certainly have a shot here. My biggest hesitation about, outright saying Miami can win this football game is I just don't believe in Carson Beck. I don't love the way that he played against A&M, even though the wind was blowing 35 miles per hour, it appears. I don't trust him in the biggest moments to not make a mistake. And I have a lot more faith in Julian Sand, plus the weaponry he has around him with that receiving core, probably the best in college football. Again, I think Miami can make this a game. I think that they can have a shot to win, but I can't pull the trigger myself on an upset when I feel like the quarterback battle, even though Carson Beck has way more experience than Julian Sand, kind of leans towards the Buckeyes.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I think he's probably going to be the X factor for that Miami team. But for some reason, I'm like, man, I think people forget why he's been a little inconsistent this year. I mean, this guy, he has the experience. I mean, he's a national championship winning quarterback. Maybe it's only a matter of time that stuff kind of clicks for him again. You know what I mean? I feel like in playoff games, there's always a player that either resurges or a guy steps up. You know what I mean? My dad was talking about that yesterday, and wouldn't be shocked. Just like, in this game, I wouldn't be shocked if Brian Williams comes to life in this game. Maybe a guy like Carson Beck just ends up playing one of his best, and they have a chance. We'll see. But talk to me real quick about the Georgia and Ole Miss game. Those are my two coordinators going at it, Pete Golden and Kirby Smart. Man, it's definitely interesting. I'm kind of torn, man. I'm rooting for Pete, but I'm also kind of like, man, I respect Georgia and what Kirby's doing over there, and I know a number of guys on that staff. How about that one? It's a rematch. These teams had a very close one earlier on in the regular season. Now, this time around, there's no Lane Kiffin on the sideline. You think Pete Golden and Ole Miss have enough to get it done, or you think Georgia's just looking too hot right now?
I just love the way that Georgia has gotten better as the year has gone on. We talk about it all the time on the softball side. Throughout a season, teams are allowed to get better. Sides of the ball are allowed to get better. And Georgia's defense has pretty obviously gotten better as the season has gone on. Against Ole Miss, they gave up 30 plus in the first 3 quarters and then didn't give up a point in the fourth quarter. Now I think that Georgia's going to be able to throw some wrinkles at them that maybe Ole Miss almost certainly didn't see the first time that they played. It will be interesting to see how this Georgia offense does after so much time off. We talked about how it's felt like a month since Alabama played. It's literally been a month since Georgia played, and Gunnar Stockton didn't do anything too special in the SEC championship. He's been kind of just okay the last few games. So if the Ole Miss defense can cause a little havoc, maybe they've got a shot, but it's just really hard for me to see the Georgia defense that I've seen in, the second half of the season giving up a ton of yards, 30 plus points again to Ole Miss. And kind of on the flip side, how is Ole Miss going to handle some of these tight situations, these tight moments, these real possibilities of in-game adversity without Lane Kiffin? They handled the Tulane game great because they were the better team. But when the going gets tough, how does Pete Golding, how does this staff, how does this team coalesce without the head coach? I'm interested to see how that works. I'm sure they'll be fine, but you never know.
That's one of my biggest question marks, honestly, Gray, is I've been in the shoes of these guys at Ole Miss where a coach has left. Now, I was not my head coach, but when we lost in 2016/17 to Clemson, damn, every time I bring them up, think about losing these damn dudes. When we lost that game, Lane Kiffin, he dipped. He took a head coaching job, and Coach Saban went ahead and just showed him the door because he wasn't handling it well. That, the whole back and forth thing. They also are dealing with that, in this sense. Lane Kiffin, he brought over, majority of his offensive staff. He's issuing them on a loan like they do in soccer, man. They loan out their players. He's loaning out his coaches to go back over there and coach. I can only imagine the challenges of that, knowing they're trying to work the transfer portal and their roster at LSU, but also trying to get ready for this game. Listen, I don't care how well you try to manage that. That's tough for any coach, especially at that level. Hell, Lane Kiffin was struggling to do it, and he was the head coach at was like FIU or wherever he went. Imagine taking over LSU and trying to handle that while going back and coaching for the game against Georgia. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. Then the last one, Gray, we got Oregon, Texas Tech. Winner of this game will be who Alabama plays if they go on to beat Indiana tomorrow afternoon. How do you see that one going? That one's an interesting one for me. Oregon, definitely a good football team. Second half against JMU was a little interesting. They got a defensive coordinator, my position coach, Tosh Boy. He took the Cal head coaching job. So another situation where kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And then this Texas Tech team, I think they got a really good defense, got some really good players, heavily invested there. I just don't know if I'm fully sold just yet, Gray. What do you think about that matchup?
I love this matchup because I don't know. I think that there are a lot of pieces to like about both teams. Oregon's finally healthy. Dante Moore is very, very good. I love a lot of the way that the offense operates. I think Oregon runs the football as efficiently as anybody. You look at offensive success rate, they're number one in rushing. People don't talk about that. Texas Tech's defense, though, is so good. Up front, I know you love watching them play, Christian. They get after the football. They're in the right place. They play aggressively. They just seem to do everything right on the defensive side. I just don't know if they're going to be able to score against Oregon like they probably need to. I think if Oregon gets to 28, they're probably good. I don't really know, unless Texas Tech draws up a ton of wrinkles, how they get more than 24 points in this game. But at the same time, when you play against a defense as tenacious as Texas Tech, any play can lead to chaos or a mistake or something like that. So I don't really know how this game's going to go. My gut says Oregon wins, but maybe Texas Tech has saved some things on the offensive side that we haven't seen this year. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. I'm a little. This one's an interesting game for me as well, but it's going to be interesting to see because again, that's who Alabama would play or will play. We'll speak like that. That's who Alabama will play after this matchup against Indiana. And speaking of that, Gray, let's just wrap up with that, man. I know you talked about it, but give me your final prediction. You don't have to give a score prediction. I know some people, they steer clear of that. I didn't like doing it until I had no choice. Now that I host a show, I kind of have to, I guess. But just final prediction of how this thing goes and how it turns out. Now, just real quick, I forgot to mention this. Weather, I don't think should be as much of as a factor as initially thought. I think there could be some wet conditions early on, but it should settle down by the time the game happens. So I don't know if that means anything for you with this, but there's that.
I would say I have a lot of things that is, reasons as to why I think Alabama is going to win this game that I've gone through. But I do think Alabama is going to win this game. And I think that pedigree is important. I'm really interested to see how Indiana starts. This is the Rose Bowl, the pageantry, the college football playoff, all the things. And Indiana's doing it for the first time in many, many years, if not ever, in certain scenarios. And Alabama was in this game 2 years ago. I think there's something to be said about being there before and understanding the moment. How does Indiana start the game? If they start well, Alabama's in trouble because that means they don't feel any of that natural human emotion that you should feel, and that would be a little bit terrifying. But if Alabama can protect Ty Simpson, Indiana's missing Stephen Daly, who, poor kid. I mean, he got hurt celebrating during the Big Ten championship. What a horrible way for your year to end. But that is a gigantic missing piece. And if Alabama can protect Ty Simpson, not let those other guys in the front seven get pressure on him, I think that the Indiana secondary has some holes that Alabama can take advantage of. So I think Alabama's going to win the game. The last thing, Christian, you talked about special teams, the field position battle. Alabama, I feel like, has not won the field position battle decisively in a while. Even the Oklahoma game, there were a few moments where it evened up. I think in the end, the average drive start position was about the same for both teams. Up until halftime, Oklahoma had a decisive edge in that spot. Alabama's got to win the field position battle because when they have not, we've seen how it's gone, and typically those games are not successful for the Crimson Tide. So you got to do all the little things right, and you probably have to play your best game of the year to take down an Indiana squad that has shown a few cracks, but certainly no holes so far this year.
No doubt, and that's how I view it too, Gray. I think we go out there and we play our game. We play to our standard, to what we know we're capable of. Alabama, I say the word should win this football game because I just do feel like pound for pound. I know those guys play tough, they play discipline, all that. But we've got some dudes, man. And when these guys are on their game, I mean, listen, I know they got a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, but don't forget when Ty was playing to his standard earlier in the year, he was talked about as being a Heisman candidate. Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, when we can get him back rolling, right? I mean, Isaiah Horton, Latzia Brooks, who had a breakout moment against Oklahoma, right? I mean, we got some true weapons. We might not necessarily have that running game that we would like, but this offense is definitely capable. And to go with it, we have a defense now that we feel confident in that can get stops. They can get off the field on third down much better than they did last season. They can force turnovers. And overall, man, they've just been playing so much better. So yeah, I'm with you, brother. I'm feeling the same way, man. I'm feeling confident,
Well,
Graham.
let me add one more thing, if I may, Christian.
Please do.
Because I was thinking about this today at breakfast. If Alabama's got a chance at the kill shot, you've got to take it. And I think that that's one of the things that we've discussed in postgame that we have not loved about this team is it doesn't feel like they're capable of blowing people out, and it doesn't feel like they're capable of putting away games. In certain spots, we've seen games where they've had big leads and kind of, maybe a chance where if they go on a long drive, they can shut the door and then they go 3 and out. That happened against Oklahoma. That happened against Auburn. That's happened multiple times. And if Alabama, if there's any opening at all to get the kill shot, and maybe there won't be, but if there is, you have to take it, because if you let Indiana hang around, we've again seen them close games very, very well. Do not give them the opportunity to do that against you.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. And I think that's why starting fast also is a big deal. Like to go with what you said, starting fast, then also finding ways to keep your foot on the pedal the entire time and taking that life out of. My dad said something interesting last night, which I actually really agree with what he said. He said, look, at the end of the day, that Alabama A still means something. And Indiana probably saw that draw when we won against Oklahoma. They probably would have preferred to play Oklahoma. Even with our issues that we've had as of late, it's Alabama. There's just something about it. And he said if he was coaching this team, he would make sure that you sent that message early on, because he feels like if you allow he feels like Indiana's going to have some type of, in the back of their minds, a little bit, they're going to be a little intimidated because they're playing Alabama. Like you mentioned earlier, they haven't really been here like that. I think it's the first time these two teams have ever played. And I watched a video of these guys being interviewed about like who their favorite Alabama players. I was like, damn, that's low key a little disrespectful. Not really, but I'm like, damn, you're really asking these guys, hey, who's your favorite player from their program? Because they're so, such a great program. You guys are, just the worst or the losingest program ever in college football. But anyway, to my dad's point, I was like, yeah, that's a solid point, man. You go out there and prove, yeah, this is what you've heard about. I think that kind of will affect the confidence in that Indiana team and could maybe lean in your favor when it comes down to it. But if you start slow and you let that confidence live and let it build up for them, I think you're just going to make it even more of a difficult game for you in the long run. So it's interesting that you say that along the lines of what he was saying last night. I agree with everything both of you guys said.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great football game. I can't wait to watch. I mean, there's nothing quite like a New Year's Day, a Rose Bowl atmosphere. I'm going to be coming in from Columbia, South Carolina, actually, ironically.
Wait. You should have told me. I would have told you all the spots you got to go. You got to get. There's a place called Jimmy's Mart, Gray. It's where I spent about half my childhood. It's a gas station / food mart. When I tell you, man, they've got, so if you like breakfast, you go in there, you get you some cheese grits, some sausage. I mean, they'll hook you up. Now it's like, a Southern breakfast now. And the ladies that work there since I was a kid all the way to high school, man. They kind of got, a little meat on their arms. If you know what I'm talking about, they know how to whip it in the kitchen. They're that type, man. I love those ladies in there. You know what I mean? Like the school, like the lunch ladies, that kind of build and kind of attitude, just so sweet. But you need to stop by there. But not only that, but they've got slaw dogs. Now, I don't know if you guys listening are fans of slaw dogs, but slaw dogs, now they've got coleslaw, but also chili, mustard, onions. And I think it's a Carolina thing because I tell people about them all the time. They're looking at me crazy. Those things I'm talking about are money. And you can get them from there. And if you don't go there, there's a fast food place. It's called Rush's, and it's right around the corner from that. And they're known for their slaw dogs. It's like an applewood bacon chicken sandwich. They've got burgers. They got soft serve ice cream and stuff. It's like an old fashioned diner, but it's a fast food place, man. Anytime you're in Columbia, you got to check it out. Now, I know you're probably going to be busy and you might not have time, but next time, brother, I'll get you right. Now, those aren't like downtown. Now, you got to go on my side of town, which is northeast. It's like 20 minutes out. But listen, man, God, you're making me hungry, brother. You're making me hungry. I'm missing me a slaw dog from Columbia, South Carolina, man. It's been a minute.
Look, I'll do my best. We got Alabama women's basketball tomorrow, pretty early tip at South Carolina, so I will be on the clock, but I will do my best to hit up as many haunts as I can.
If I have to DoorDash you a Rush's slaw dog down to Colonial Life Arena or wherever they're playing, Gray, don't worry. Just don't get it messy now. I know you wear your nice suit and tie when you're calling games. You look very professional. I want it now. It's good now. It's gonna be dripping, sauce and all types of stuff, but it's worth it, man. There's also a place called Sandy's that's actually downtown. They've got a whole bunch of hot dogs and different stuff. I don't know what's up with us with hot dogs, man, but maybe it's me. Gray, have a great call. So again, everybody can tune in. It's tomorrow. You said tomorrow women's basketball or today?
Yeah, tomorrow 1:00 Central Time tip, and then we'll get on the plane and I'll get back and catch up on anything I might have missed in the Rose Bowl kick and watch the rest of it and get ready to do a post-game show with you and talk all about it.
Heck yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Again, LLH Healthcare Post-Game Party. Gray Robertson and myself will be analyzing this game, and hopefully it's just that. Hopefully it's a party to kick off the new year 2026 on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Gray, man, I appreciate you hanging out with us, man. Have a great call in my neck of the woods, man, and look forward to talking to you after the game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those hot dogs. Thanks, Christian. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year, brother. Oh, man. I love it, man. That's Gray Robertson, man. Awesome dude, man. Again, my partner over on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We have a lot of fun. If you guys haven't heard us, man, as you guys just heard, man, we have great chemistry. We really enjoyed, and we'll be covering the post-game show on the network. So tune into that. Wherever you listen to the Crimson Tide Sports Network, Tide 100.9 for sure. Wherever you get it on your end of things, man, check us out. We always we break the game down for you, man. We're honest, we're direct, and we answer questions as well. So you guys can submit questions to us on Twitter or Facebook, and we'll address those there as well. We got to hit a timeout. When we come back, we got some folks on the phone lines. Want to talk with you guys. 205-342-9904. Got a few more things to add to this whole picture on New Year's Eve as we get ready for the Rose Bowl tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Time kick. We'll do that when we come back after this quick timeout right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Shout out to my guy Superfly with the $9.99 super chat. Superfly says, "Roll Tide, Bama family. Time to prove all the doubters wrong and take care of business at the Rose Bowl and move on to the semifinals. 27-24, Alabama. Roll Tide." I threw in the Roll Tide, but we'll just say the elephant emoji stood for that. Superfly, man, I appreciate it, man. And hopefully I sent you that info. So hopefully, if you're interested in getting the hat made, it has what I asked for them to do. So they should turn out just like this. You can pick your color and all that. But and maybe hell, if a lot of people really are interested, maybe I'll just get a bunch made and you guys can just get them off of me. That way it's easier. If you guys want to support the Dale Tide movement, man, again, it just means Roll Tide or Let's Go Tide in Spanish. So just thought it was a cool idea. And it seems like a lot of people keep asking about it. A lot of people like it. So maybe we'll end up making some Dale Tide hats over on the Miller's Edge. Let's see. It's crazy. Golden, Smart, Signetti, Cristobal landing still in the CFP. Listen, man, for anybody that says Coach Saban's way doesn't work anymore, man, they don't know what they're talking about. Listen, that proves it. I mean, that alone says everything that you need to know. I think people have it misconstrued. They think just because Coach retired because of old age and not being able to keep up the hours and having all the turnover on the coaching staff, that meant like he just was afraid of NIL. I'm like, nah, it wasn't it at all, man. You don't think that dude could have adapted to that? Which he did, right? He coached during NIL. It wasn't that at all. And his way works, man. I mean, it all comes down to discipline, fundamentals, right? All the pillars, right? Effort, toughness, commitment, pride, all that stuff. But no, seriously, when you look at like literally just reading all those coaches, hell, y'all don't even have to be around them necessarily like I've been around all those guys except Signetti. Matter of fact, Golding, he was technically co-DC. He ended up being full DC after my senior year, but still, he was my DC. Smart was my DC. Only one I didn't spend time with was Signetti. Cristobal was our offensive line coach when I was here, and Lanning was actually a GA with the outside linebacker room that I was in for a couple years. And I about beat him up at practice. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's one time he said he you guys can hear how he talks, man. He's very animated, but we were doing a drill and he addressed me kind of he came at me kind of sideways one time, and I was like, whoa. I ain't beat him up, but I'm just saying that I definitely had to contain myself. I would never put my hands on Coach, but I was just like, hold up, bro. Whoa. I'm like, I'm yelling at somebody's one thing, but I'm like, brother, words that just came out your mouth, brother. You might have crossed the line with that one. Crimson Tide. Thousandth win is crazy. It's crazy to think about. Really cool though. Superfly, man, I appreciate you. Big thanks, seriously, for the super chat. You guys know, man, I tell you guys, all of it reinvested in the show, man. You guys are just buying stock in the Miller's Edge, man. I promise we put everything back into it to make everything better for you guys. We appreciate all you guys' support. Steve edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. Chases, real quick, I just want to confirm, you still got me on your end. I know something weird just kind of happened with the stream, so I just wanted to make sure we're all good to go.
Yeah, we're still
right.
good to go, Christian. Can you hear me?
Chase, just give me a confirmation if you can hear me all right. I just want to make sure we're all good before we get back on the phone lines. I know we've got several callers lined up. We just got done speaking with Gray Robertson, my partner on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. So if you guys haven't already, man, make sure you guys check us out. Again, post-game. We come on about an hour after the game concludes, after they wrap up the press conferences and all that stuff with the coaches. So check us out tomorrow. Game's at 3, so probably around 7 o'clock when we get on air. So make sure you guys check that out. I know you guys keep leaving messages about Vanderbilt. I got to pull up the score on that one. I haven't seen it just yet, but we'll do that here in a second. We could talk about it, but I know we're running down on some time. I want to get in some final thoughts. Let's squeeze in some calls real quick. 205-342-9904. We got JD up next. JD, welcome in.
Hey, good afternoon, Christian. How you doing?
JD, you there? Chase,
Hey,
you might
can
have
hear
to
me,
Chase, try doing this real quick. Try it leaving and coming back, refreshing. I think it's doing it again that it was doing earlier. I couldn't hear on your end. So we'll refresh that real quick. Sorry, guys. It'll take 2 seconds. Technology, man. Technology will do it to you. All right, there we go. JD, you with us? That's interesting, man. I'm still not hearing it on the radio side of things. Chat, you guys can hear me, right? Just confirm if you guys can hear me. Chase, maybe try it one more time. It's just showing there's no audio on y'all's end.
Can you hear me, Christian?
Worst case, if we need to go to break, we can. JD, can you hear me?
Hey, Christian, how you doing?
That's interesting, man. Chase, let's do this. Let's take a quick timeout on the radio side of things and try to get it just cleaned up. Then we come back. We'll just combine it. So real quick, sorry, we're having some tech difficulties. It comes up. It's live radio. It happens. So we'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll get it all cleaned up. We'll go back to the phone lines. We'll keep breaking down this game, putting our, final thoughts on it, get y'all's predictions, all that good stuff. Right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Yeah, you guys can hear me good on the stream. It's on the radio. So the way we do this, just so if you guys are curious.
We are live at the college football playoff quarterfinal.
I stream the show
between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Indiana Hoosiers. Our coverage is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors for all your sporting good needs, for all your team gear needs. Check out academy.com or visit one of their many locations all across the Southeast.
Or on the app.
Cracks or potholes that are
but
dragging
right
out
now,
properties appeal.
the connection with us and the stream is gotten kind of weird, and it could be on my end.
With expert repairs, new paving, or resurfacing, fast, durable, and family-owned quality that you can trust. Don't let small issues turn into big expenses.
Yeah.
Call 205-393-9149 for your free estimate today. That's 205-393-9149. Asphalt Restoration, where smooth roads start. Roll Tide.
Bell Entertainment presents its holiday extravaganza.
Yeah,
We've expanded
some reason
several
it's not my
locations.
end.
That means 2 buildings with the same name.
Where's my backup headphones?
Holiday season starting December the 2nd through the 31st. We're giving away up to $60,000 in cash and free play. Come to either building to earn your entries. The big giveaway days are Tuesday,
Heck, man.
and Saturday.
It happens, so I apologize, man. I apologize for the inconvenience, guys.
Bell Entertainment Holiday Extravaganza. Take exit 45 on 2059. Sponsored by Red.
Hey, man, thanks for coming so fast. I couldn't get anyone else to pick up.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. I'm not complaining, though. Business is way up lately.
Wow, good for you. I've been trying to grow my accounting practice, but it's been pretty slow.
Yeah, I was in the same boat last year. What really helped me was checking out this site, mylocalcustomers.com.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, well, most people haven't. It gives you a look at how many people in town are searching for what you do, and it also provides a plan to help them actually find you.
Like online?
Exactly. It's eye-opening.
Happy
and
New
it only
Year,
takes a
Julian. I
couple minutes to
appreciate
get
that.
started.
Thank you so much.
Well, you fixed my sink. Maybe you just fixed my business too.
Want to know how many people in your area are searching for your type of business? Start with a local customer analysis at mylocalcustomers.com.
I thought it was
it's quick, it's
easy,
and it's free. Go to mylocalcustomers.com today.
That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Mylocalcustomers.com. We're rocking and rolling. We're still here.
Product and subscription plan feature products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness,
we'll go to the phone lines, but I got a couple of videos.
Online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up.
All right, sorry, we're good. Yeah, keep on rolling. That's right, Chase. All right, so when we come back, we'll just combine everything. Wyatt doing, Wyatt's out there. Commercials are loud. Chase might have turned it up, see if that fixed the problem. That might be what it is. Or maybe just because I had them on and I was trying to talk, it made me sound low. All right, here we go. All right, we're rocking and rolling. Let's see. So we'll play this, but we got, I think, 2 calls. Worst case, I'll hang out. If we have some more, if we don't cover everything, I'll hang out a few minutes after we get off radio. Appreciate that, Superfly. All right, good deal. So we're back rolling. Yeah, man, it must have been something on my headphones, which is really weird. I don't know. Speaking of headphones, man, my brother's a DJ, right? And so he, I guess he's getting his set ready for New Year's. One thing I'll never understand, guys, is how this guy never uses headphones, like ever. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but he's getting his set ready, I guess. But I'm like, brother, how the hell? Like, you're a DJ. Like, don't you always wear headphones? I guess maybe he likes hearing it out loud. I don't know. It drives me nuts, though. I'm one of those people,
We're
man.
covered by Verizon. You can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com.
All right. This guy is such an interesting guy, man, but he seems like a good teammate, though.
Yeah, Ty Simpson is an amazing player. I've seen him, or I've heard about him from a long time now. You know, he was one of the top guys, and so I watched the whole entire 2022 Elite 11 class, and not only was he a great quarterback, he seemed like he was a great guy.
I'm going to stop that because I'm going to save it for radio, but he had a lot of positive words about Ty. Then I think there's another one with Alabama. Let me get that pulled up, too. He's speaking very highly of Bama. I think I might have it bookmarked. Let's see. I know I got Deontay Lawson right there. Yeah, I got everything. All right. Yeah, but I'm ready to roll, Chase, whenever you're ready.
The road to the national title continues. Live from Pasadena, California. Our coverage begins at noon on your
Yeah, Ricky, I don't know where he's doing it at. I know he's there. I just don't know where. I wish I could tell you. But knowing the way California traffic works, brother, I don't know if you'd have time to even make it that fast. Because, I mean, he's coming up in less than 15 minutes. And everything I know about California traffic, man, good luck. Bama Standard Pod was a good one. Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, man, that was fun, man. Listen, that's why I feel bad. We haven't had a chance to really break down this game the way I want to, but we did with Gray. But man, we've been covering so many things. You know what's crazy? Like 2 hours flies by. Like when I first went, because at first we were a 1 hour show, and then we were doing so well, they gave us a 2 hour show within like 3 months. And at first I was like, man, 2 hours, man, that's a jump. But really, though, it just flies by now, man. Like I feel bad. We don't even have time to even get to everybody. But yeah.
To advertise and do your marketing.
Sorry, commercials are going to be in a minute because we're combining breaks, so it's taking a second. But when we come back, we're just rolling straight through, which is good.
Media Tuscaloosa.
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past.
Some of you will know this, but some of you are going to be surprised to hear me say it. Unless your offense plays a lot better and your offensive line blocks a lot better and creates some balance, you're in a lot of trouble against this Indiana defense. So bring the A game, pun intended, or Bama could get run out of the Rose Bowl. Indiana's favored for a reason. I'm really impressed with this team.
Now, I think he's going way too far on that one, but I'm wondering, did that come after, like, did he go watch practice or something? I just don't understand. I don't understand the narrative about like again, if you want to say yes, there's a reason Indiana's favor. They're a good football team. That's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not wearing crimson glasses. I understand they're a good team. I get it. But when you're talking about getting run out of a Rose Bowl, I'm like, come on, guy. I mean, you watch way too much football to talk like that. Like, Indiana hadn't done that to anybody. Why would they all of a sudden do that to a team like Alabama? That just, come on, man. And welcome back into this New Year's Eve edition of Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTVC. Everything is back and rolling. I appreciate you guys having patience, man. Technology, man, it's live radio. Some things come up, but we're all good. We're squared away. We're, like Chase said, we're going to keep on rolling. 205-342-9904. We're going to go on the phone lines real quick, but I just played a clip from Chris Fowler during the break we just had here on stream. And Chase, this is one of those things that I was talking about, like in the national media. I'll play it for you guys on radio real quick. It's not long. It's maybe 25 seconds, but a lot of people, I just don't see this, I guess, perspective that they have. Again, let me preface by saying I'm not wearing crimson glasses when I say this, but I think Indiana's a good team. And I have no problem if someone says, hey, this is a team, a game with two good football teams. They might lean Indiana. Right. And they give me some, solid reasons for it. Cool. I have no problem with that. But when you say things like they could run Alabama out of the stadium, like, to me, I'm like, come on, man. Especially from somebody like Chris Fowler. You watch too much football, but this is what he had to say.
And it's a pleasure to watch this Indiana defense. I'm telling you, Alabama fans, some of you will know this, but some of you are going to be surprised to hear me say it. Unless your offense plays a lot better and your offensive line blocks a lot better and creates some balance, you're in a lot of trouble against this Indiana defense. So bring the A game, pun intended, or Bama could get run out of the Rose Bowl. Indiana's favored for a reason. I'm really impressed with this team.
Chase, don't you just feel like it's a little too much? Again, it's like these people, it's like you give them an inch, they take a mile. I have no problem, acknowledging, Indiana's talent and the things that they do really well, the defensive performances that they've shown, right? The turnovers that they force. I mean, look, they do a lot of things. They're disciplined, they're physical, they stop the run. I get all that. But to run Alabama out of the Rose Bowl, Chase, is he tripping, or you think he's warranted in saying that?
He's tripping all over the stairs. That is insane work to say that he's going to run Bama out of the Rose Bowl. I can't. You got it, Christian.
Listen. The only thing I can come up with right here, Chase, is the first quarter against Oklahoma, or if you go back to the SEC championship game and you're like, hey, if that Alabama shows up, listen, and that's why I said, if you take the crimson glasses off, like, to be fair, there's an argument to be had that, yes, if Alabama plays as poorly as they played in those, we'll say, 5 quarters, 4 from the SEC championship game, 5th one being the first in the Oklahoma game. I definitely could see Indiana winning the game. I would not say running us out of the stadium, but I could understand people viewing it like that. But I think that's the problem, Chase. I think they're too fixated on just that. And they're completely leaving out the whole piece of, hey, the last 3 quarters this Alabama team played wasn't some fluke. It just looked like how we looked earlier on in the year. And to me, you're talking about a healthier football team. Again, that's something to take into consideration. I don't like it making excuses, but that's valid. We were banged up in that Georgia game. Hell, we were banged up the last few games of the season. We're healthier than ever. To hear people talk like this, I'm just like, come on, man, that's too much, way too much. But let's go back to the phone lines, 205-342-9904. We've got JD up next. JD, welcome in.
Hey, what's up, Christian? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Man, I am good. You asked a question earlier about faith in the Rose Bowl. I'm here to deliver you an answer. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. Talk to me.
I think it matches up a lot similar in various perspectives to the 2009 Texas Rose Bowl. Alabama hadn't won a national title in a while, and here we are today, as a lot of fans are spoiled, thinking, oh, we haven't won a title in 1 year or 2 years. Alabama's done. They're off the map. No, I mean, we've consistently competed for national titles. It's going to be hard to match what Saban's done over those years, but it's that feeling that we're the underdog again. We're going in there against, Colt McCoy was supposed to be a phenomenal quarterback, and he was. Here's why I think the turning point is going to be in the game, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Field position. Most of the time teams have scored on Alabama this year is when the field position has favored them and Alabama's defense was against the wall. Nobody has really truck-sledded Alabama's defense the whole length of the field all year long.
True.
I mean, that really hasn't happened. So my question, the one I'm going to pay attention to, I think we're going to see similar attributes that we saw in the 2009 Texas-Alabama game. The defense comes alive, sparks a light, and all of a sudden their defense is playing on the heels because now they're like, wait a minute, we're behind, we've got to adjust, and mistakes are made. That happened in Oklahoma. And what happened? Running lanes opened up. We couldn't run the ball, all of a sudden a 30-yard break. We couldn't run the ball, 8-yard run into the end zone, Daniel Hill. So I think it's our defense that's going to really set a tone for our offense in this game. But Alabama, not down and out. And, hey, don't worry about the glitches. I'm a diehard Alabama fan, man. Look, I was win, lose, or draw. I'm always going to be there. I was there through the hard years. I was there through the good years. So when technology messes up, I'm not a fan that's going to run. I'm always going to be there in the background. I'll wait, whatever it takes, brother. But
Hey,
I really think that we're looking at an Indiana team that is good, but is very overhyped. And we're looking at an Alabama team that is battle-tested, has played in consistent clutch moments. And let's face it, the only clutch games Indiana has played in so far, they had a cushion, knowing that if they lost one, they were still in. This is out. You're one and done. Alabama has had to play through a gauntlet of a season where just about every game they were worried about being out. They've had their backs to the wall. They've taken their lumps, and they've persevered time and time again. So I don't think you're going to have a mental fatigue on Alabama this year in this game. I think the defense is going to come out ready to fire. I think the defense is going to play a significant role. I think it's going to open up the run game and the pass game. As long as we play sound, we don't make mistakes. I think the game will get delivered to us. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a walk all over them, but I do not think they're going to walk all over us.
Yeah,
I think Alabama's tried, proved, and proven it. And hey, well, Indiana, okay, you beat Ohio State, you beat Oregon, good. Ohio State's biggest victory is against Texas, who's not even in the playoffs.
That's a solid point. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, and I think it's going to be important, man. We got to punch these guys in the mouth, especially early on, and send a message. I think that definitely could do something to this team. And I know that they've showed the ability to come back, but at the same time, man, I just feel like a lot of people are sleeping. Like you mentioned, the resilience of this football team. Alabama's never been just completely out of a game. Hell, even Georgia, as bad as that game looked, to be fair, Alabama had some opportunities. We just couldn't capitalize in that second half. So I definitely think.
The Georgia game, the 4th and 12, if we weren't playing to win, we would have just punted it. We could have played lax. And if we had punted it, they wouldn't have had that extra 7 points. The victory wouldn't have been as big. I mean, so we were playing to win. We were down, 10 or 12 people. Look, we're going to go into this. And I really think, like I said, the offense is going to feed the defense. The defense, being able to create a little bit of havoc, our defense puts a little pressure on their defense to have to buckle up. But mistakes that we made, I think we can expose those mistakes. And once we start getting a lead and our defense is playing lights out, I think more mistakes are going to be made on the offense. We saw that role play out several times. But I think it's really going to start with our defense, brother.
Yeah. Hey, listen, defense still wins championship games, even in this new era where everybody just wants to score points, man. You can't forget about the defense. Hey, JD, man, great stuff. Really good points. And I appreciate you hanging on with us. And we're going to try to get one more call in real quick, but hope you have a great New Year's, man. And appreciate you hitting us up.
Hey, you too, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's see if we can squeeze Lexus on here real quick. If we can, Chase. Lexus, you with us?
Yes, hello.
Hey, how are you? Welcome in.
How you doing?
I can't complain. Is your first time calling?
It is my first time calling. However, it's not my first time watching. I have a today.
Yes,
I am a UGA fan. However, I am an SEC supporter. And I want Alabama to win this freaking football game. I just do. I'm sick of Big Ten. I'm sick of Indiana. I'm sick of all of it. And I want them to win this game bad. I'm just going to say these couple of things, and then I'm going to let you go. I will say this honestly and truthfully. I'm that person that can take the fan hat off and talk football. I will say this. I have watched Indiana. I went back and watched them yesterday play Penn State and Oregon. And Indiana is one of those teams that I think is the jack of all trades, but the master at one. The master at one. They are hella good on third down. They are hella good on third down defensively. And I still say, with all of that in mind, that because at first Ohio State was in heaven. Nobody could beat Ohio State. Ohio State was already given the national championship, if you listen to CBS and ESPN and all of these folk, until Indiana beat them. Now they have Indiana on the throne. I don't believe neither one of them belong there, okay? And I do think with smart, disciplined, tough football and no crazy, silly mistakes like personal foul penalties, turnovers, and things of that nature, Alabama can compete and even beat Indiana. And one last thing, stop worried about being the underdog. Sometimes that's the best thing to be. Oregon sitting over there in the corner glad ain't none of y'all talking about this. And then they trying to figure out how they going to get in the national championship game. So don't be worried about all that. Sometimes you don't need all that press and glory and praise and all that. You just need to buckle up and play some freaking football. And I'm going to be cheering for Alabama almost as hard as I cheer for Georgia when I watch this game. Now, come on, let's do this.
Thank you. Alexis, let me tell you real quick, because I know we got to rush out of here. We're literally against the clock, but I can't help but tell you, you might need. Are you sure you don't work for ESPN? That was one hell of a breakdown, and now I'm blown away. We might need to get you. You need to start calling in more often. I know you're a UGA fan, but that was, I mean, spot on, and I love it. And you watch ball too. You're going to watching film and breaking it down. You fit in right with us, so you always got a place here with us on the Miller's Edge. But I hope you have a happy New Year's. Thank you so much for calling again. Really good stuff, and really enjoyed that. I hope you have great New Year's, and we'll see. Hopefully, we get this dub, and maybe we'll have a rematch with you guys down the road.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. I'll watch you again and come back and support your channel no matter what.
Thank you so much.
I can be a UGA fan and love Bama too, especially when they're playing other conferences. So happy New Year. Take care.
Thank you so much. You too. All right, we literally got to get out of here. I appreciate you guys. We're going to stay on the stream right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. All our radio listeners, I hope you have a great New Year's, and hopefully we're back here on Friday, right, talking Alabama victory over Indiana right here, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
You've been listening to the Miller's Edge, tackling sports daily at
Chase, tell Wyatt my bad, man. Tell Wyatt I apologize going over, man. I couldn't cut her off though. She was spitting fire. she was on it. I tell him I apologize, man. Tell him I owe him one. But damn, chat, what do you guys think about that? I mean, like, I was blown away, and she's not even an Alabama fan. Shoot. She needs they need to get her on ESPN, Fox. Play some audio clips. All right, cool. Good deal, man. All right, that works out perfect. Dang, that was awesome. Shout out to Lexus. First time calling, but hopefully we'll hear back from her, man. Maybe we'll get her to we'll come back on here and break down UGA's game over Ole Miss. I mean, talk about being knowledgeable. That was impressive, man. And not just because, you know, she's a woman, but just in general. I mean, like, she spot on with what she was saying. Not everybody hates Bama. Yeah, that's what. And I see, to me, like when she led off by saying, you know, I watch the games. I'm just an SEC fan. I love that because, you know, she ain't just coming on here just saying, oh, UGA. No, I mean, she said she went back and watched this Indiana team. Like, I love it, man. I love it. That's awesome. I wanted just to hang on here real quick because we're, you know, obviously done on the radio side of things, but because I feel like I hadn't necessarily finished, I guess, putting a bow on everything. But just real quick, since we didn't get to really say it, my keys, and I know I said some of them in the past couple of days, but just in a nutshell, man, defensively, I think it starts with stopping the run. You got to stop the run. This Indiana football team wants to run the ball, averaging about 220 on the ground. We got about 3 backs that they rotate in there. They do a good job. Offensive line does a nice job in executing. They're physical. They get good push. And that's what they want to do, right? First and foremost, they're going to do that. They do run a lot of RPO type stuff too. So you got to be disciplined, reading your keys, you can tackle well. I mean, fundamentally sound. And like she said, I mean, I think if Alabama shows up and they play to their standard, right, limiting mistakes, whether that's comes from penalties, whether that comes from lack of execution, whether it be drops, missed tackles. I think if Alabama can mitigate those things and they play to their standard, without a doubt, I think they beat this Indiana football team, regardless of what all these people are saying. Just like Alexis has done, I've gone back and watched Indiana, and while I respect them, you guys know me, I've always pay respect to the team. Maybe it's something I got from Coach Saban. I'm always going to do that. That said, it's like she said. I mean, they're good at a lot of different things, but they're not necessarily elite, so to speak. And when I match Alabama up with a team like that, I just think we just have to play our game and we'll be just fine. Does it cause me a little concern knowing that their defense is really good and they got a capable offense? Yeah, just because I feel like we haven't played. I think Georgia would probably be the only team that we've played that mimics, the I guess like the overall complete team, like an Indiana team that we've really seen. I mean, I guess Tennessee is okay, but they're not the same quality as Georgia. But you get what I'm saying? Like South Carolina, Auburn, Missouri, all these teams. I mean, Vanderbilt had a good offense and a solid defense. But you get what I'm saying? Most of these teams we play with really good defense, they haven't had an offense to complement it. This team does. So that's one thing I am paying attention to. But I just think pound for pound, man, we've got some dudes. We got some really good players. We got a damn good quarterback when he's on. We got really good skill guys. Offensive line, they've gotten better. I mean, they're a little inconsistent at times. There's been a lot of rotations here and there, but for the most part, they've done a pretty solid job in pass pro. In terms of the running game, I mean, you get what you can out of it. You commit to it in order to, try to develop that balance so you're not one-dimensional, but you get what you can out of it, even if that's extension of the running games. And then on defense, man, like we just talked about, stopping the run, making Mendoza uncomfortable. You got to do that. And our secondary, I think that's a matchup to watch. Our secondary against, Mendoza and those receivers that they have. Personally, I feel like this secondary group that he's about to see tomorrow is, without a doubt, one of the best units that he's going to see all season. And I think with the pressure, with our ability to start disguising like we've been doing, I think you have an opportunity to make him uncomfortable and force him to have some issues. And I think that definitely would play in our favor. Then offensively, I think it comes down to, protecting the football, settling in, protecting Ty Simpson, giving him some time, and having our receivers come up with some big plays. We need some more explosive plays again. I think that could go a long way. Then, like a lot of people have said, position battle, got to be clean there. Can't, start behind like everybody else has had these advantages. Like JD said, man, you don't need that. Make them have long fields, right? Defense, find a way to give our offense short fields. And then Connor Talty, man, we need you. We need that Oklahoma version again. I think if you can do those things, I think Alabama wins this football game. My prediction was 24-20, Alabama. That's what I had the game. I don't know if you guys want to drop a prediction before we get out of here real quick, but they'll get my respect winning if they beat us. Until then, healthy dose of Tim Keenan. Jam is a good blocker. Yeah, I'm excited to see a healthy Jam. You guys remember when Jam was back looking pretty healthy in that Auburn game before he got hurt? I thought he was returning to form, and he's had plenty of time to continue to get healthy. I know he saw some action against Oklahoma. Daniel Hill was the lead guy there with him still kind of working back, but he's healthy. Cuevas is healthy. I think that's one thing a lot of national analysts are I don't think they're necessarily paying enough attention to the health of this football team and having enough time. And then to somebody's point, Indiana hasn't played in almost a month, right? Last year, all the number one seeds lost. So we will see a different Jam in this game. Listen, I think there's a chance, man. I just know, listen, having time off, man, will do wonders for your body. Vandy stinks again. What was the score of that game? I never checked it. What was the score of that Vandy game? Let me pull it up real quick. Let's see. They're losing 14-3. I'll say this, though, and I promise it's not an excuse for the SEC. Just going to be honest with you, man. A team like that had playoff hopes, and now they're in a bowl game playing Iowa. A lot of those guys are checked out. I know a lot of people always throw that around when it comes to bowl season, but there is truth to that, man. It is what it is. Just like Coach Saban says, there's not as much significance with the rest of these bowl games anymore. I like Kevin Riley. Hits a hole harder than Jam, in my opinion. I've always been a Kevin Riley guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I was impressed with what we saw out of him earlier. I mean, I know Daniel Hill got healthier and he came along, but I feel like we should have brought Kevin Riley along a little bit more. I feel like we shouldn't have completely gone away from him because I feel like he would have gotten even better with the more, snaps he was going to get. But he did end up getting hurt too, so that played a role later on. Justin Dickerson, man. I had a teammate, Justin Dickerson, also played outside linebacker, man. That's crazy. We got a Justin Dickerson in here and a Keith Holcomb in here. Two names of guys that I played with. That's crazy. If we can get a Vandy type performance from Jam, it's a wrap. If you get 100 and some yards out of Jam on the ground, I like that in Alabama's favor and winning this game 100%. Implement more RPO 100%. I definitely think we should. I think it'd be very helpful. Help open some things up without a doubt. Hadn't seen much of that really. I mean, I think they've started adding some in at like lately, but throughout the year they ain't really had much RPO game with this offense. These SEC teams don't give a damn about bowl games, playoffs, or bust. Yeah. Awesome from Tuscaloosa, born and raised. Okay. Oh, that's what's up, man. The OG. Nah, it's crazy. I'm telling you, man. Like literally, we called him JD, Justin Dickerson. He played outside linebacker. You talk about a wild dude, man. I don't want to get him in trouble on here, but man, talking about my first bowl game. And JD walked on, but he's a smart dude, man. Coach Thompson loved him, man. He enjoyed. We talk about Rashawn enjoying Bourbon Street. I think JD probably had the most fun out of everybody. It's the fact that we're on the sideline during the game. Like this is during the Ohio State game. Or pregame, I should say, excuse me. We're warming up for pregame. And granted, I redshirted this year. I'm not playing in this game. Still warming up, but I'm just saying I know I'm not playing. I'm redshirt. JD, I mean, again, he's a walk-on, so 98% chance he won't go and play. That said, we're going through pregame, and I mean, like, he just looked like he was off. He was like running in like slow motion. Then I start getting whiffs. I'm like, smells a little boozy, man. Guys, I'll tell you, this dude, I don't know if it was for the night before or what. I'm pretty sure this dude, he had himself a little bit too much fun. I'm talking about we're in warm-ups. I'm like, bro, you lost your mind. But, hey, man, I guess what happens in Bourbon Street is supposed to stay in Bourbon Street, but now I've kind of shared that story. All right, real quick, see if I missed on anything. I had all these little clips we were going to play, but ain't no really point in doing it now. We're about to get off.
And I think everyone he's rubbed off on, whether it's podcasts yeah, Ty Simpson is an amazing player. I've seen him, or I've heard about him
just
for a long
today.
time now. He was one of the top guys.
All good. That being said, we'll go ahead and get out of here. Big thanks to everybody. Seriously, always hanging out. Hey man, I've rolled in from he made he might have Justin. I mean, like, nah, bro. Yeah, he but see, we had curfew, right? So like when we first, like the first couple of days, the way the bowl games worked was like, because it's different. Like these guys got there only like 3 days before. It's way different. We used to get there like a week before. And so the first 2 nights, our curfew would be like dumb late. So, naturally guys, had their fun the first 2 nights. And then curfew, tightened up a lot. So I don't know how he pulled that off, but yeah. He found a way, man. Once a lifetime moment. Yeah, listen, and that's why I was like, listen, the guys that like red shirts or walk-ons, like if you're not playing in the game, I mean, it's pretty natural. You're probably going to enjoy yourself a little bit more when you're actually, in the game plan, it's probably a little bit different. But I will say, I can't talk too much on here. I can't be that guy. But the first night in New Orleans, we were down there for the Sugar Bowl. I won't say it. I'll just say I just remember we ended up at a venue and I just remember looking across, and you had Braxton Miller, Ezekiel Elliott, Cardale Jones, all their key guys, like especially offense, but all their like main players were like on the other side of this venue, and they're enjoying themselves. They're enjoying themselves, and they ended up they beat us. So I mean, I guess the correlation is not always 100%, but would have loved to be a fly on the wall in the locker rooms. Keith, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I said, I can't say too much while I'm on here and stuff because unless we got our if my teammates are on here, they want to talk about stuff. That's cool. I ain't trying to be that guy, but if y'all only knew some of these damn stories. Still bitter about that one. Yeah, that was tough, man. We should have won that game too. That was when Blake Sims, our quarterback, and Amari Cooper. Those two had a great year too, man. And a lot of good players on defense too. Ohio State just had a really good football team. 2014, if you guys remember that game, that was in the Sugar Bowl. First ever year of the college football. My mic, man. Yeah, that was a tough one. I was there when we lost. You know what's crazy? You definitely had to be there because, bro, I kid you not. I remember I got showered, changed, got on the bus to head back to the hotel. And I got on the bus early. I just was trying to hurry up and get up out of there. I feel like I was on that bus for like 6 hours, and all I heard the whole time sitting on that bus was those OHIO chants. And these fans, they would like walk by, they'd realize it was our bus. And then they start doing it. I'm just sitting there just watching all these people out the window. I'm like, golly, man, these dudes are insufferable, man. I get it. They're excited, but oh yeah, talk about good times, man, bro. That's why, like, when we have like when Ruben joins the show, when Tony Brown comes on here, Rashawn, like, that's why you hear us like start like reminiscing, bro. We can go down memory lane, and I tell you, it's like those are the best years of our lives, man. Like without a doubt. I don't care if you play 8, 9, 10 years in the league, man. Like, it's just different than college, right? Like, it's nice making the money you make in the league. It's nice being a professional athlete, all the stuff that comes with that. Like, don't get me wrong, that's cool itself. But in terms of like the camaraderie and stuff, like thinking about the times, we got on campus and we're, moving into Bryant dorms together and like holding cookouts back there, and like just the silly, stupid stuff like that happened in the locker room where there's rap battles. This gonna sound stupid when I say it's like when I say like a pillow fight, like pause, listen, hear me out. Like the big leather couch in the locker room that's got like these big old pillows on it. So dudes just randomly after practice, like just take one of those, just go around just smacking the shit out of somebody with it. Then it turns into like a war. Like, bro, y'all, man, it is so much fun. Would you have liked to play in the 12-team playoff, or the 4 teams good enough? Another reason we tune in. Yeah, that's why I like getting all our teammates on here, because it's fun. I'll be honest with you, man. I think I would have been good with either one. The 4-team playoff was nice because it was, you automatically, if you get in, you're in the semifinal, you win that game, you go to the national championship game. So in terms of like being able to get to that point, I think there's a reason I played in 4 straight championship games, because I mean, like, we just knew, like, hey, man, lock in on this game. We take care of business. We're in the championship game. 12-team playoff, man, it really tests your patience, and you really have to have a culture like a football team that's able to withstand that. You know what I mean? Like, say like Alabama, you play in the first round, you have to go on the road and play against Oklahoma. All right, boom. All right, now we got to go play Indiana out in the Rose Bowl. All right, boom. You win that, you got to come back and you got to play in Atlanta against either Oregon or Texas Tech. Boom. Then you get to national championship games. So, there's more steps. There's more opportunities if you're not in the top 4, because that was how it worked. I mean, if you were in the top 4, you didn't have a chance. So that's nice, but it's a lot more football you're playing, and a lot more you got to, withstand. Now, I guess if you're a top 4 seed, you got one less game, but I think either one I would have been solid with, man. Blake still blames himself no matter how much. Yeah, he was so hard on himself after that game in the locker room. I felt bad. To the point where he was like boo-hooing, man. Coach Saban was like, get up. I felt bad for him. Coach Saban was trying to like give his speech, and he always like consoled us after we lost. Right? He was so nice when we won. It was kind of like, yeah, good job. All right. Then he's going to yell at us the next day or whenever Monday. When we lost, it was like he was always like comforting us. Right? Blake was just balling, man, to the point where at first he was trying to be patient. He was trying to get his speech out. So he's like, all right, man, like get up. LSU was crazy that year. Yeah. Yeah, we had some games, man. What I really enjoy about watching you and the standard Teague Martin, he's always gets. Oh yeah, that's what's cool about the whole former player side is because the experience and all that. Que lo que compacts. My friend from the Dominican Republic's in here. Que lo que. Let's not forget you guys played with a few injured players on that field. Zeke, yeah. On Landon Collins. And then I think Reggie got knocked out of the game with the concussion, so Sean Deion Hamilton had to go in there. If we get past Indiana, I might grab me some tickets again and drive up to Mercedes-Benz. Aren't you in that area, Dwight? Aren't you in that Georgia area? All right. Let me grab some lunch, man. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I mean, shoot. If you can get you some good prices, man, you might as well see your neck of the woods, man. Kind of conversation will be had about the cleats before the game? That's a good question. I mean, if it's wet conditions, I mean, there should be some type of measures that they take. Normally, you got as players, there's always like a second pair of cleats that you have that are fit for wet fields. Normally have better, I guess, like the spikes and stuff like that. Which that's normally on like the equipment staff. Like their job is like to make sure they pack all the necessary equipment. Just like, I mean, if it's wet and rainy, like guys that wear visors, right? I mean, you got to be ready to take that off because those things fog up. You can't see. ¿Qué lo que? Pues te hablaría en español, pero es que no quiero perder todo mi público aquí, porque como cuando hablan en español, como todo el mundo se confunde. Pero te voy a mandar un mensaje, porque creo que esto pone de terminar el stream. Happy New Year, everybody. Be safe. Yeah, I'm about to get out of here. But Happy New Year to you guys. Again, we won't be on tomorrow, but we will be back Friday. Tomorrow, they're going to be covering all the pregame stuff, so we won't be on here. But we'll be back Friday, breaking it down, and hopefully we got a lot of good to talk about. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll do that with you guys. So appreciate it. Appreciate everybody. If you haven't, man, hit that like button before we get out of here. Have a great New Year's Eve. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Uber, Lyft, whatever you need to do. Call a friend. If you do go out and celebrate, just make sure you make good decisions, man. Let's start this new year in a safe. Hit my mic as I'm giving my speech, man. But yeah, I hope you guys have a safe, positive start to the new year and kick it off with a dub. So we'll be back Friday in English. You don't understand English. That's the problem, man. It's long story short. So my buddy Compacts that's in there, he's learning English. He doesn't speak English, but he helps me learn Spanish. So that's why if you hear me, guys, if you guys hear me just randomly start speaking Spanish, I'm talking to Compacts. I promise I'm not being some dude that's just trying to just randomly just whip out Spanish, man. No, he doesn't speak English, so I have to speak Spanish with him. But he's trying to learn, so he likes to listen to me on here to learn. But I always tell him it's probably not the best idea to listen to me on this because I'm talking about football. I'm talking fast. Hell, we got a bunch of callers with Southern accents. He ain't understanding none of that shit. Roll Tide is universal. Yeah, I'm trying to teach him about football too. He wants to learn about football. I told him like maybe one day we can start a Spanish football podcast because there's a lot of people. He lives in the Dominican Republic, like born and raised there. They don't really keep up with it, but he wants to learn more about it. So I try to teach him a little bit about it. And that's why he likes listening to me on here. But like I said, I mean, this is an advanced English for him, man. We got to start with the basics with him. He's kind of still in the early stages of it. Who do I have against Ohio State, Miami? I got Ohio State, but I think Miami has a chance to make it a close one. I think depending on Carson Beck, I think if Carson Beck plays a solid game, I think there's a chance Miami shocks some people, but I still think Ohio State wins. No, it is universal. I got to give him some Alabama gear though. I don't even think he knows like the significance of Alabama. That'd be cool. I'd be as lost as he is. Yeah, no, trust. I mean, hell, I was there when I first started learning. Hell, even sometimes, man. I mean, the way they speak Spanish over there is like it's like the highest level of Spanish, man. They speak fast. The way they speak Spanish over there is kind of like how like Jamaicans speak English. You know how like we kind of have a hard time understanding some of those accents. It's kind of like that, like with their Spanish accent. But yeah, we're gonna get them hip, man. We're trying to grow the Alabama fan base. We're pushing overseas, man. We're taking over the Dominican Republic first, then we're going to start spreading it other places in Latin America next. No, I'm just kidding. Fluffy. You talking about the comedian? Is that who you're talking about? Is it like Gabriel Iglesias? Is that who you're talking about? All right. Let me get out of here. I appreciate you guys just hanging out, man. I feel bad. We ain't even really talking a bunch about this game no more, but you guys still just hanging out, man. That's cool. That's what's up. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, we'll look forward to doing it Friday. We'll break it down. We'll have the tape. Hopefully it'll be uploaded by then, and we'll be at it. 27-20. I got you, Jake. Sounds good to me, man. But y'all be safe. Happy New Year. And damn, every time I'm about to get out of here, I get a good question. My wife's Colombian. I just expected her to pretend like she likes it, but I can tell she actually really loves football, the whole experience. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people from like Spanish speaking countries where it isn't as popular over there, like they're intrigued by it. They just don't know the rules. So at first they're just kind of like, but then once they start kind of learning about it, I think they really like it. But that's why I always urge people too, man. Like a lot of people here in the States, like I grew up playing soccer with on a Mexican team. Part of the reason why I wanted to learn Spanish. And it's like a lot of Americans that don't understand, like, bro, like soccer overseas, man. You think football is big, man. Soccer overseas and like the stadiums. Like I played I played against the Buccaneers in Tottenham FC, like that soccer stadium. I mean, in front of, all those fans over in the UK, and like they were doing like chants like it was like a soccer match while we were playing. I mean, it is the coolest experience, man. So I always urge people, man, you gotta venture out. Soccer is boring to watch. I understand a little bit, but like the atmospheres with it is crazy. If you think football games are crazy, try going to like a soccer match like overseas. I mean, it's wild. Now, you might not really care about what's going on the field, but I think the atmosphere, you guys would be like, oh, that's dope. Yeah, soccer is amazing live. MLS has gone a lot better too. Hell, the owner of the Panthers, man, we got that team back in Charlotte now too. It's dope. It's dope. All right, I'm for this time. We're gonna get out. Happy New Year's. Y'all be safe, and we'll see you guys Friday breaking down a